day, all afternoon long. Good to see the market trying to hold on to, or at least near, day highs right now. 0.69 for the S&P, about 0.6 overall for the Dow, 0.7 there for the NASDAQ, leading the way, or trying to at least. 0.4 here in Toronto for the TSX. Crude having quite the day here. It was up almost 4%. Bit of a pullback right now, 3.5% though to the upside for crude oil. Bitcoin and Ethereum chopping around as they've been doing most of the session. Very green board to show you right now. Only a few individual names offsetting things to the downside. Biogen, 3% under pressure a little bit. Tech here as well, 1.6 in the pharmaceutical group. SEDG up here in the tech group as far as semis are concerned, offsetting an otherwise very, very green sector, first of all, and then the individual group, the semiconductor group, having quite the day here. NVIDIA 3.4, NXPI 4.8% to the upside, just to name a few. Salesforce standing out there, adding to the declines we saw yesterday. Remember, at their AI event, it was a sell the news type of reaction yesterday. Big sell-off for CRM late in the day. Not so much yet for AMD. Material, energy stocks are higher. Communication services, consumer discretionary, industrial, and banks down here. All back in positive territory. So really good to see as we head into the final couple hours of the day here. And it was about AMD right out of the gate this morning. If you joined us in the pre-market, we were discussing not only what has happened this week over the past couple of weeks, but also this event that's on right now, still in the process of being wrapped up. I mean, I think the news is out at this point, so hopefully we won't get a sell the news type of reaction here, guys. But pretty good reaction, in fact, so far for AMD.
They already sold the news. Yeah, so about that keyboard thing, you got to trade what you're comfortable with. So we love Pradley. I think Prad did a fantastic job there. Back and forth aside, there was so much activity and a lot of energy. So we're happy to have him back. And hopefully you guys, it's going to be just as good for this afternoon. I want to say they sold the news. I mean, AMD's down 1%. If you, outside of one move to the upside right at 1 o'clock when they ran 130, I mean, it has been a short. I'm out of it and into AI to the south side now, but I'd say they sold the news here. Lower highs being put in on AMD. The 130 retracement trade was fantastic. There was a reload opportunity. I had it off 128.5 and trailed out of it, but we're right back to testing toward the lows, and it was across the board. I mean, everything started pulling back at that time at 1 o'clock, and then things accelerated here. But even like AI, it's the same thing. It was basically at the same time AI made a top. A couple of shorts off that one as well. That's all I have. I'm still hanging on to some Neo from earlier on in the day, but I would say they have sold the news on this event, and it hasn't been a disaster. It's not at the low of the day or anything, but it sold in the morning. It sold at 1 o'clock. With that being said, remember, it had just made a 52-week high. So
yeah, we're still.
It's not that bad. We're basically like pennies off the highs, percentage points off the highs.
Yeah, we're still okay. I mean, it's down 1%, but we got diamond hands right now. We're $2 in the money on AMD, and we just, you guys heard it all happen here. We actually was short, made money, let it go all the way to the upside. We did get stopped out once and then hit the short again, like stopped out shorting into 130, but then got short. You can see where we're short right now, in fact. So 130.06, $2 now in the money on that short. It feels like Apple, WWDC, fade it, and then they're done and see you later. So I don't know. Sharif was very obsessed with the jacket. I like the blue blazer. Reminds me of a wrestler, blue blazer. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. Don't worry, Rob.
Yes.
I got this.
Yes.
Anyways, all right. Nice move down. We are still short also on Amazon, but we'll get all this going right now. There's a nice little Amazon short. One out on Amazon there when it took 80. Yuck. But since then, back into it again as Amazon goes now to the downside here into the short. So Amazon's been really good for us. Some outs. I'll probably just hold this and see if it can what it does right now, AMD, but we are still short on AMD. So I'm a wrestling guy, and so is Neil. We both know and like wrestling.
Yeah,
so
that was
shout out to Owen Hart and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Triple H and all of that. So all right, let's go back over to the big desk.
Norman Smiley.
Norman Smiley. We're trying to talk Canadians.
I know, you know me. You can't talk wrestling without me acknowledging the greatest jobber of all time.
Yeah, but you don't know his nickname.
Norman Smiley? No, not
Yeah,
really.
it's the big wiggle. The big wiggle.
I liked him better before he became his own character.
Yeah.
When he was a jobber, it was fine, and then all of a sudden he went from a jobber to an actual sort of character, and it wasn't the same.
No, I love him. That's why I talked about Barry Horowitz and everything like that all the time. Brooklyn Brawler, another great one there. Wow, but we're boomers, of course, you know, being 40 years old now.
Boomers that like to have keyboards where you can separate the keys.
Yeah. And anyways, I can go on and on. All right, let's go back over to the desk. What do we got next? Apple downgraded? What?
How dare they?
Oh, man. Rob, you're in the shot. It's all good. Rob's doing some work. Thank you, guys, for doing the work. Meta here just made a day low. The last headline that came out of this conference was that AMD says Meta is using their cloud chip as it rolls out their AI strategy update. So I was just checking, see if there was a reaction there for Meta, but there wasn't. Downside a little bit. I mean, overall, there's a few things that are kind of interesting, but I think it's mostly what we've heard in the past already. I don't know. Give me your thoughts here on AMD.
Yeah, I was trying to look while we were doing the midday show to see what they were presenting. I'm still looking for that big GPU announcement. I'm not watching at the moment, but I don't think one has come yet. It looks like a lot of collaboration announcements. They want to show you that the mega scalers are using their technology, obviously, because that shows potential volume, right? These are mega scalers are the only ones really that are going to scale it en masse. So continue to watch, see what else comes.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, compared to what happened to CRM yesterday, a little bit of a better reaction anyways, as far as sell the news type of deal. Let's talk some Apple here. In addition to a downgrade, very rare downgrade that came through this morning, they also said that starting today, you can get a brand new 15-inch MacBook Air, the Studio, the Pro, all powered by Apple Silicon, available as of today. I mean, they said that at the event last week, but I think a lot of people were out shopping today.
The issue is, I think, like what the downgrade today was about was the fact that developed countries are saturated with Apple products, and there's really not going to be the kind of volume expansion that they've been having the last few years. And that my counter to that was they're really looking here to push into the developing countries, and you've seen what their push into India has been like the last little while.
I saw a very interesting review of the current M2 MacBook Air, the 13-inch, versus the new 15-inch. And from a performance standpoint, performance basis, they were essentially identical. There was very, very little to basically no difference whatsoever other than the screen size. So a couple $100 for an inch, I guess.
Yeah, well, people.
I had a Michael Scott comment there. I'm holding back.
No, okay, good, because.
But that is what she said. So.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew that was gonna happen.
It had to happen.
I knew there's absolutely 0% chance that you were gonna actually withhold that one for the entire time. I was just waiting for it to happen. But I want to say it was a bit of a nothing burger. It's hard for Apple when it just made that all-time. It just made that high yesterday, all-time high close. 185 is actually the high, but it just made that close above, gap down under. And with AMD and the chips stealing the show, and the AI and the squeeze on AI and all of that goodness, difficult for Apple to be an exciting trade. I did have it early. It bounced off in the morning. It made a breakout and then bounced off 183. So the higher low was good. Played it to VWAP. Eventually reloaded one time too many. It's now rolling over here. So that same 183, it's breaking down. You have lower highs on Apple. So the downgrade does come at a time when you had just made that fresh test of the top. I don't think that's a catalyst for it. I think it's just getting a little bit exhausted. But I don't think Apple's the one to trade this afternoon. I think you're looking at an AI-related name. I think you're looking at AMD. I think you're looking at the chips. I think you're looking at Tesla, Carvana as well. Those are the names to watch. Apple, okay, that's just going to, in the market's coming back in, so I suppose there might be a trade there, but I'd rather be somewhere else. I just reloaded AMD. This is the third time I've had it short, but the short's off VWAP. I'm not giving it that much room. I'm shorting VWAP, and I don't want it to break out VWAP either, because the short was 130, and then underneath it's been like 128.5 to 128.70. So I'm working the bottom end of the range again, which I did before, but then it blasted to the upside. Right? I forget exactly what was said when it made this push into VWAP. I forget what exactly. I think that it wasn't when they talked about. It wasn't when they talked about GPU, but certainly they did make that push above you up. Now you're holding back beneath it. Apple doing what it does here, which is kind of calm down and trade pretty much identical to what we see in the overall market. Maybe we have a bottom break, and if Apple breaks the bottom, the shorts of everything look a little bit better. But let's focus on, for the trade, let's focus on AMD, AI, and maybe some Carvana.
Yeah, I mean, again, and one name that you missed out there, the number 2 name here in the portfolio, Amazon, just continues to flush out as well. Again, trying to find a red name into a market that I believe is going to fail here today. I think we can go back to zeros, to be honest with you here. On the NASDAQ, we're now below the 50 period. It might be wishful thinking because I'm short. Yeah, we're going to get to Oracle in a minute, and SoFi, wow. Okay, I got a lot of positions on AMD, Amazon, Intel, Oracle, SoFi. But yeah, you're starting to go lower here as well. So down goes Amazon, Apple. I mean, Neil just talked about it. I mean, I still think you always want to buy Apple as much as you can. I'd wait for some dips. You know, I don't know. It's not, this is relatively weak. There's no doubt about that. Against the market, it's actually weaker than Amazon. So, you know, in the same kind of a flush here, you're below VWAP. If you get back anywhere near 183.20, I want to be short now. That, I don't know, is the event even done yet? I don't know. But, you know, once that is done, you know, this flush in the market here. Apparently people saying Tesla is also making a move down right now. Is that true or not? I haven't looked at it in a bit. Yeah, wow.
It just bounced big.
$4. So Tesla goes 260. What is the high? 260, yeah. Down to 256. So $3.50 flushed there on Tesla. Wonder what's up with that. Again, just a little bit of an increased volume coming through here. We can see what it's doing on the day right now. Tesla bouncing off the 200 period. I don't know why. Did it just bump up there? Like I'm missing a little bit of data. Hopefully that will fill in right now. We're bouncing off the 200 period. Looks like you got some support down here around 255, which is good. That's that size there. That's some consolidation there. And then the top is 255 there as well. Plus you have VWAP. So any of a move down, if you're looking to pick something up, I would say you probably are a little clear here around this 255.50 area. There it is. So it did just jump up a little bit there. 255.50 area to go long on Tesla. But yeah, good call for those of you in the chat. It did just make a significant move down there, kind of out of nowhere. So good look, good covering on some Amazon. Let's get some more out because this market is now, again, like I said, maybe we're heading to the downside, but look, now it's just bouncing right back up. I still think we could test 15,000, which is right here, this line that we drew. So that was pretty much the bottom. You had to give it about 40 handles. Now we go back up to the upside. Let's see what happens right now with AMD, Amazon, and the market.
Pull back overall for the entire market there. Meanwhile, crude oil trying to get back to day highs. That's SoFi. We were also talking about that in the pre-market this morning. Pretty impressive. You have to say, after gapping to the upside in the pre-market, we go red initially, and now here we are back up 3.5%. SoFi just doesn't want to go down.
Yeah, it's been an absolute beast, and it's riding the coattails of the deal that was struck between the Republicans and the Dems with respect to the debt ceiling. So there was some tidbits in there with respect to winding down the student loan forgiveness program. SoFi stands to benefit off that. They've been running the last little while off that news, Brendo.
I was just counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make it 11 possible days here for SoFi.
It's up 3.5%. You know what? Okay, fine. It could end up red today. It just doesn't seem like it's going to. So I think it's, you get a V-shaped recovery like that, it's very, even if it rolls over, it's hard to imagine the way it's holding the highs that you get a retested low. I haven't traded it today. If it got a little bit lower, I was probably looking for a dip buy. At least I know it was at 870, but it didn't quite get down there. This one seems like it's on a collision course with $10. If the market gives it up and gets to 15,000, like you're saying there, Sean, and if this holds at 950 and the market pulls back, I think we have a decent chance that we're going to see that $10 level coming some point this week. I guess today we're still early. You have a lot of time to be able to get there, but you know, it's a trend. The trend is your friend until it proves otherwise. I think that's the approach in SoFi. And there's nothing that's indicated, especially after that V-shaped bottom today, that this is over. Let's see if it can take out the top. As I said, I don't have any trades on AMD, AI, a little bit of Neo. And that pullback, just because we mentioned everything about chips and didn't mention NVIDIA, on that dip in Tesla just now, or in the market as well, check out where NVIDIA bounced. I just happened to see this a couple of minutes ago. And that little bounce on Tesla, NVIDIA drops right to 405 for the third time and then starts bouncing. This could be a decent level. If the market does want to hold 15,000, 405 should be on watch here. Remember what that number is. It's essentially, I mean, it's teetering around the 1 trillion mark when it's between 05 and 06, and that's what we're seeing happen in NVIDIA. I just got another leg out there on AMD. I'm more scalping it off of VWAP, so inside of this $1 to $1.20 range. If it breaks the low, we look 126. But yeah, NVIDIA 1405 looks pretty interesting. If it can hold that, there could be some longs this aft.
Yeah. I have to apologize. I did put a little fisherman's friend here, so I have a little bit of a frog in the throat, so we'll have a little candy there, and hopefully that's not too distracting. If it is, I'll just spit it out. All right, so SoFi right now, you know, nice moves to the upside. I mean, so this is the thing. We took SoFi early right there at 9.15. We let it drop all the way down. Although we like the stock, it's on the sticky note for the long down here at $9, but it came into 9.20. And why did we like 9.20? Well, it was just the closing price from the day before. So it was a pretty simple, well-structured trade there, I thought anyways. And then here's the move. Comes in, we get these out like 9.40, like some of the best outs are 40s. I feel like our average is like 32, 33. I mean, you guys are probably trying to watch when that was happening. This fill, for example, is 29 right there. So most of them in this range, 33, 34, 35, with the best one at 43. And then it dropped, and then we lost 1 cent. So that's how we like to trade it on those plays. I'm trying to watch Amazon here, trying to bounce back a little bit. Oh, by the way, right now, AMD. $2.50 now in the money on the short side. It's just continuing to bleed a little bit here. That is AMD to the downside. But okay, that's that. And then we went long again on SoFi as it was approaching VWAP, trying to break back up above this area. And this trade has been really the best trade for me. And I'll tell you why, because our out on this was right here again, 20s again. Okay, so again, we get long 24, 25, 21s, 22s, whatever it was, and then we're taking a 5 cent worth of risk, which is now 25 cents in the money, so 5 to 1. Let's just continue to hold SoFi and see where we go from here. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Oracle soon. I mean, that's going to be a big, big trade. Some good outs there on Amazon just came in. We got something at 34, then we get a 21, and here it comes blasting right back upside. I'm going to punch some 46s there, get some out. We're pretty light on this trade, but it is making a move back up. That is Amazon, so all right, we're fine with it. We'll just sit in the rest of this. We only have about 20 to 25% left of this position, but it's Oracle, baby. And if we don't trade a little more aggressively on some of these earnings breakdowns tomorrow, I'll be upset with myself. Let's go talk about Oracle.
They move back to earth after a nice gap to the upside, nice move overall to the upside. You just, Sharif, you just pointed out this. We're showing, I think, here, worth a note. Some of these yields, whoops, that's not the right one. This one is the right one. Bear with me. What is going on? I'll be okay. Don't worry.
You can come to my screen. I have it up.
Here we go. I got it.
Okay.
Day highs at the moment here for the 2-year and the 10-year, making big moves back to recent highs. In fact, you got to go all the way back to, I mean, this was the regional bank meltdown debacle that sent these things tumbling. So you got to go all the way back to March to get into when the last time we were here. Anyway, my point here. Frank Caberna coming up in about 20 minutes. We'll get his take on not only the CPI print from this morning, but also what on earth is going on with yields with, as we saw, the CME Fed Funds tool pointing to a 90% chance that we get a hold coming up tomorrow from the Fed. So we'll see. Anyway, Oracle gains after nice beat this morning. We were talking about the overall report being better than expected, the move to the upside in the pre-market, but downside we go. Yeah, the trade wasn't as good as the earnings yesterday, where they basically increased their cloud revenue 55% year over year on the quarter. So it was a hell of a win there, especially in the face of what analysts were predicting to be slowing demand for clouds by corporations. That didn't manifest in their revenue, Brendo, but the trade, a lot more complicated. I know a lot of the guys on the floor had it, but it was a tough one. Yeah, a lot of people I saw were dealing with this morning. Remember, when we looked at this morning, we were talking about the volume, the sheer volume that came in. I mean, a lot of it was done after the close yesterday, but huge volume candle yesterday was pointing to the fact that maybe we get some follow through this morning, but not the case at all. Right back down, guys.
All right, so yeah, I was just messaging some coaches there. Okay, so Oracle right now, look. Wow, 117. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. We actually called that 117 level, or Neil did, I think, was like, where is there going to be some support? Maybe at 117. But
not that I want to buy it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It was just like, we were looking at this, it was fading out, and when we talked about it in the pre-market, it was up 6 or 7%. I thought it was a little bit juicy for where it was based on the report, but like, I don't, obviously, hey, I'm Sean. I'm not going through earnings releases with a fine-tuned comb as much as, the traders that are trading this with, bigger, more conviction on this. So we just waited for 120 to break. And the thing about it was, I feel like it was very specific right there. It came back in, and it basically bounced off 120 right there. So we were watching it. You guys were all here watching. It came down to 120.20. And then I was like, oh, man, we're at 120 on Oracle. Then it kind of bounced back up, but it didn't retrace that far back. Like, it retraced about $1, I guess, off of that move. Then it just was like screaming to the downside. And with this kind of a momentum, the minute it didn't even think about really stopping right there, we just punched a short. Now, the problem is it did go against us about 20 or 30 cents, which means our first take right there was 50 cents. Then we took 25, thinking this was the bottom. Then it just started bottoming, I felt like, at 119. And we're like, okay, we're $1 in the money. Let's take it out. So that's 20, 40, 60, 80. And I was like, we're not going to be able to live with ourselves if we just don't take this out. And then all of a sudden, came back. This was another reload short opportunity there at 1970 coming into play. We should have done that. Triple topped, right back down to the downside, and now you're barcoding lower. I have no intentions of getting out of this. The 200 period is now right here at 118. I feel like that's a good area of resistance if we wanted to go back to the upside. But it's $3 in the money. It's a big win. And Oracle, again, off earnings, man. Like, we'll try to do that tomorrow. We actually try to play. I'm going to talk about Roblox after this, but not after this, but as the show goes on. We had very similar plays in a lot of names. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, which is why when they do work, you got to make sure you hold on to a piece so you can capture a little bit of profit like this, right? So far, so good right here. And yeah, Oracle, good name, like the name, just ran a little bit too much into the print. So it was a pretty good short, especially with this market not really heading to the upside. All this AI talk. Wow.
Does Roblox report? Is that
no, Roblox reports later. It had nothing to do with that. It was a very similar break.
Okay,
but look what's happening right now. Spin it. This is $3.50 in the money right now. We are not reloaded. Well, actually, I'm reloaded. We were a little reloaded up here. We had this a bunch of times, but we did get stopped out, and now look what's happening downside for AMD. $3.50 in the money. Where does she stop? Nobody knows, but I think this is a pretty good area right there. We've already made this low down here at 126. Maybe let's just put a bid down here, 126. Wow, okay. Now we are collapsing. I guess she's done. So AMD right now announces a new MI300 GPU.
So that's the last
They announce it, and it goes to the downside. So there it goes. See you later to AMD. It's a big move to the downside. We just touched 126. I think we could just take that profit. Hey, we talk about the dollar club. Well, this is the $4 club right now. So let's just probably take that out. See what happens right here. We talked about having trailing stops on these names. I mean, we could trail this. We could just follow the teal. Let's just follow the teal down. So that's 127.85. Oh, man. That's such a big move, though, that we look at that 126.15. All right, let's just put a bid down there, man. If we're going to trade off support and resistance, we shorted this at 130. So I feel like this is going to be a really good trade. I'm just going to exit out of this, ring the Reggie, and be happy with it. Hopefully we can get another fill down near the bottom of this trade. But so far, so good. Here we go. She collapsing. Do we pull it? Do we pull it? No, we don't right there. And that's what we're doing, man. We're talking about it. There it is, man. Join the $4 club right there. It's another one, and it's to the downside. Oracle, the $3 club. AMD, the $4 club. So good trade there on advanced micro devices. Remember I said we really wouldn't trade it today because we got smoked? Well, that was a good trade there down to 126. Yeah, now I'll feel bad to get out, but hey, we took some profit, so pretty happy with it. It's not bad. Brendo?
Still speaking, by the way, guys. Here's the latest comments coming through right now. They're saying the MI300A chip, there it is, MI300A chip is shipping in small volumes will be used in the U.S. El Capitan supercomputer, according to CEO Lisa Su. She was actually demonstrating it running like a chat bot type, a chat GPT bot type of thing. So she is still on stage, so just be aware with AMD. Palantir, more positivity this morning as well. We were wondering if it was going to be a long today.
Bank of America with another upgrade. One of many Palantir has been on the receiving end of lately. It's been a hell of a level at that 16. I didn't trade it today, Brendo, but yeah, keeping my eye on this one for a continued swing. It's up, I don't know, over 100% year to date.
Yeah, a lot. I think it was 105 or something. It's crazy. The rundown, guys, brought to you by Trade Ideas. See what is moving in the moment, used by everyone that you see on the show and a lot of people out there on the floor as well. Trader TV 20, bottom right corner there, Trader TV 20, gets you 20% off. Use that QR code. You can scan it, get yourself right to that site immediately. Trader TV 20. Shout out to Trade Ideas, not Trader TV, but also Trader TV. Trade Ideas, guys.
So they just wicked the bottom. I trailed
Who told me to get out?
I trailed it on AMD. I let it break the low of the day. The second it was under the low, I threw my trail above 26. I thought, okay, fine. If it fails to break the low of the day, it's probably going to do like a dead cat bounce or something. Instead, it ran the stops, came right back underneath 26 and instantly to 25. So, you know, with AMD, we kind of talked about a sell the news event. 1 curl, 2 curls, 3 curls, 4 curls, 5 times in the afternoon. It gave you opportunities to short the curls. The big one, of course, when the event started at 1:30, but there was multiple. You could have had so many shots at this to the south side since the event, and it's been trending. It's been trending all day, quite frankly. I mean, you could have had this in the morning as well, but they just ran those stops. 125, coincidentally. If you go back 2 sessions, if you go back to Friday, we kind of closed at 125 on Friday. So as that actually gets taken out too. So they're dumping this one on AMD, but that just jiggled everybody out. So talk about sell the news. This is exactly what happened with Apple. Apple was trending down, and then it made one last push right when they talked about the VR headset, the thing everyone was waiting for, and then that was actually an entry point when they mentioned the VR instead of an exit point. So same thing here. They mentioned the MI 300 or
yep.
I got it right?
Yeah, MI 300, but you forgot the X at the end. The X is
Damn
very.
it.
Neil, come on, man.
I never get these things correct.
very
MI 300X. They announce it and it dumps enough. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Ciao, Amazon.
Bye-bye. Everything's tanking. C3AI is now down to 42. That's going to hit VWAP. I'm just going to trail that one out. But the market is giving it up a little bit here. We're about to hit 15,000. So if you like something for a bounce, your chance is probably at 15,000. I was going to say, is NVIDIA looking strong? Nope. NVIDIA, that support? Nah, it didn't hold. NVIDIA's almost down to 400. This is getting out of control.
Oh, my God. I got out of this $3 ago. This is, wow, from a $5 winner to a $7.50 right now. Wow, it is absolutely collapsing, but okay, that's fine. AMD downside here, obviously, as Amazon continues to go downside too. Palantir, since we're still on it, whatever. I don't know. Palantir is just nothing for me today, really. I mean, we picked up some good bids. It was really early. It was bad. In it too early, probably, obviously, as it came down to 16 really quickly. Then it dropped again. We made some money back on this before dropping the last piece out again. Wow, AMD is getting, who cares about the board anymore at this point, boys?
We're done.
AMD is right now getting absolutely destroyed, down now 5%. And yeah, we should have had that bought up. We should still have this trade, but we don't. Is there a level that we can look at here? No, gone. Yeah, I mean, right into 122, I guess. It just bounced off clean off 122. Now up $1.50 off 120. The bottom was 122.40. Now it's up to 123.60. So, I don't know. Do you go long against 122? I guess if you wanted to. I don't think that's bad. But wow, what a recovery right there. Right up there to 125 again. Unbelievable. I mean, it's not that I don't have anything to say. It's like I just don't know where to trade this level. I mean, that 122 was great and we just missed it. And we were looking at that level, I mean, even before these wicks, all you had to do was scan it out. It's too bad we were just covering that Amazon trade because that could have been That could have been a good opportunity there against 122. It's a free $2 to the upside right there. Oh, well. Well, if it comes back in, we'll try that. What's the market doing? The market's trying to find a bottom as well right now.
It's held 15.
Yeah, so that was the key line again.
It held 15.
Held 15 again.
That's the thing. Like, if you could find a level on if you're trading an individual stock, that is. Like, you find a level on a stock when you're at 15. I was looking at NVIDIA for 400 when we got there, but I guess we didn't quite get there. I mean, 122 was good. We got to 401. It was just one little push under, and maybe that was worth it, but I don't know, because you're probably not getting 01s. Like, I don't want to be long 02s in a 400 in a tanking market like that. But yeah, just everything kind of bounced a little bit shy of what I would have liked. So NVIDIA holding VWAP at least for now. But I'd watch back out for this 105, 106, where it was previous support. If that turns into resistance, maybe we roll over again. I didn't mention, I am in C3AI. I've had several shorts, shorted pretty much every big level. 41 and 44 were the two biggest levels on C3AI if you pull out the daily chart. So I had the 41, the 44, some success in the 41 after getting stopped out early. 44 was looking like the load-up zone was so easy to get shares. It never really flushed, so I had to stop out there. I had one long on a 45 break, and once that failed, it was shorted, back under 44, shorted again. So we're just trying to make it back. AMD will end up being better because it was a much more clean trade, basically short off the same levels instead of shorting higher and higher to the upside. I don't know what else is strong holding us up there. But the way that Tesla bounced off 255 in NVIDIA, I know that they're doing some heavy lifting. Apple, I mean, that last little bounce in the market, Apple's not doing a thing. It feels like it's more the high-flying names that are continuing to move around here. And no point looking at something like an Apple, which while all that happened, Apple put in a 40-cent range. Yeah. Like I just saw, like NVIDIA was what, $5? AMD just went $5 in the last few minutes here. Apple went 30 cents. So you're going to have to focus on the correct names here today if you want to be active trading.
All right. Yeah, so we just covered some more on Amazon because we didn't get any 126s the first time. We just didn't try them. So Amazon right back into this low here. I'm pretty light on it right now. We have about 30% left. Maybe 25% left or so on Amazon. We've been just getting out. Like we had so many. It's hard for you to say how much we had left because these are all just like, you know, if I take out like a couple hundred, whatever the shares are there, it's just hard to do the math. But anyways, we're getting out of it against this 126 bottom right there. Hopefully the market will continue to move down back through 15, and then we can watch that. So let's just go back over to that busy name. Oh, what I meant to talk about was Intel broke through 50 there, so we actually wind up getting stopped out. This was just a trade that was triggered. This was not a manual trade or anything like that. We were long Intel from before and from down in here into 33, ripped it all the way back up. So ripped it there, came back, reloaded, got that into the 80s again. And then just, should have got out. Like if we're going to go short AMD, I mean, they don't really trade in unison or anything like that. So I was kind of, but, obviously with AMD, with AMD there, breaking through 3350 was Intel. So does, as AMD and the pressure in the market comes to the downside is what I'm trying to say. So that's okay. So 30 cents, but now out of Intel. So if you're seeing that one gone, just an update on the Oracle trade. Yeah, I mean, probably should have used the teal before there. And again, just caught up, not paying attention. So, wow, here's a bump up. All right, what is this? 117.70. All right, Oracle, let's just put that stop through right now. 117.70 on Oracle. We're going to let our Sofi trade just relax. Well, here it comes right now. 117.70, 100% out if it does trigger. So that's going to trigger that out on Oracle. And then we'll put in our pocket $2.35. So hopefully that will happen for us. And then just to reload on AMD, if you wanted it, I'm going to take it at 126. So it needs to get back up there. We actually had it there we had it there this whole time. We're just waiting for that 126 to come through where we covered it. Don't mind to reload into that. It's been really following the 21 period. You have the 50 period protection up there at 127. So we'll try a reload right around there, 125.80, using this like 126 area as our out. So we still have, it still has $1.30 to go before we get filled. So we'll be waiting on that. And hopefully we'll be able to catch something there with AMD.
AM Dizzle. And a good point there, Frank Jones in
What's
the
up,
chat.
Frank Jones?
The spies in the green, in the triple Q, not that far from green. It is interesting. I know it feels like when you look at AMD tanking and you saw $5 moves in multiple, like Tesla pull back heavily and NVIDIA pull back heavily, Apple's on the lows and actually negative on the day. It doesn't feel like we're having a strong day in the market, but it is worth mentioning that overall the NASDAQ is still up when we got the CPI print, which is basically as expected. And you could be putting in a higher low. If it's 15,000 holes, I keep saying, if I say 1,500, just know that I mean 15,000 on the NASDAQ, and I'm making a bit of a brain fart there. So we held at 15,000. If you make another bounce, look for some strong names to give some continuation. By the way, I'm now trailing a C3AI, which is bouncing off VWAP here. 41, big level on the daily, but I'm trailing this to about 42.5. Do not want to get trapped. This is a pretty strong looking name. I promised myself that I would look at Carvana. Joyce in the chat actually just mentioning Vana. I have not traded it yet today. It is holding the top end of the range. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it doesn't matter necessarily what happens in the overall market. Vana's up 10% because it's a squeeze play. Quite frankly, I think it got a little bit of run when C3AI was breaking out and then it broke out on its own. But technically speaking, it's trying to fill in this gap from that 22 level, which was a good level, and then maybe back to this 25. So there's still room to run, putting in a higher low. I do like the shot at this higher low on Carvana, giving it back into 23.25 on CVNA.
All right, so we're doing something that we don't necessarily want to be doing, which doesn't make any sense.
Eating
why am I
pineapple
doing
on
it, right?
pizza?
Yeah, eating pineapple on pizza as well. No, it's Disney. So I don't know, man. It came up on a VWAP scanner. We've got the 21 period. We've got the 50 period. We've got the 200 period. It's all heading to the downside. We have some definite resistance up here around 30s. I'm just going to try this current position for a little bit, but then not forget about this stock if I do get stopped out. So I just put this stop order in if we break above 10s, which is where this 21 period is. So we're going to give ourselves 10 cents worth of risk here. We're short at 99. So I just, think that this could collapse back in. There's some good resistance up here. The market's broken a little bit. I know we don't need to look at the NASDAQ all the time for that, but you can see we're well below the 50 period as well on the ES. So both indexes, ES here, NASDAQ here, both trying to go lower. Not only that, you're banging your head against 44 again here on the ES, right? So 4,400 held last time. Okay, we started the day, we came back in, we retested it, then we took off pretty hard, came back, retested. So let's wait. Now it's coming back to retest one more time here, 4,400 on the ES. So, when you're looking at a stock like Disney, here it comes to the downside. We will take a little bit out for 10 cents, but not that much. So hopefully this will come back. Oops. Well, we can use a, now it's bouncing. I was going to say we can use the NYSE. This is on the NYSE exchange. So the NYSE gateway does give rebates with decent liquidity. So, there it is. So see, little pop right back up. So maybe this name is a little bit too aggressive for this kind of a strategy today because, we really, like Neil mentioned there, be in specific names, right? Like maybe this is just not a Disney day. It's already up today. I'm going to find out what the average volume is. It's only 9 million shares. But like I said, I like this trade, probably in a little bit too early. Let's see if it holds 10. If not, I definitely want to relook at this thing if it pops up into the 30s and 40s. So we'll put a little warning shot up there if we get stopped out, and then it's worth it for me for 10-cent risk.
Just because you asked, average daily volume, 10-day daily volume on Disney is 12.5 million.
So it's about right.
So it's done 9. There's an hour left in the day plus the auction. It's hard extrapolating it because in the last 10, 15 minutes you get a volume spike on a lot of stocks. But I'd say it's in the pocket right now. So I got into Carvana there. If I say Vana, I mean Carvana. There's not like it's another stock it could be. So I want to take this consolidation. If it gets underneath 23.20, we get out. If it makes it to the high of the day, we want to hold on to it. I think you could see, if you break the top, when I talk about filling in the gap, probably more to like 25 than anything else. Anything above 26 feels like it's overhead resistance. So quickly going to ring the registers. We got some 77s there. I'll try to take some out in front of 24 even, and then see how far this one wants to go. So hopefully something that doesn't care what the market is doing. If we break 15,000 to said downside, you want to make sure you got something in there that's moving. And Vana's going. AI is slowing down, but I think that's going to be in play. And yes, I know I'm not going to talk about NEO very often, so I'm going to get this one out of the way. Chinese ADR that moved a lot today, which was good for a couple of longs. It was good for the breakout. It was good for the dip buy. I did not reload a third time. It is doing not a heck of a lot around that 885. I have a 75 long. If it gets back above 885, I'd probably start covering it again. But it's been a good trade. I just don't necessarily think it's going to have much follow through. That's not usually the case when these trade in the final hour of the day. Tesla is still making moves. That's one that we should at least be respecting. Bouncing off VWAP here. Okay, I would have liked. See, the money fill would have been if this had broken VWAP and gotten back to that 255, because this jumped the heck off at 255. Sometimes you trade around the right price level with the wrong execution. And that was me today, because all of my trading on Tesla was at 255 or into 255. And then when it finally made the jump at 1145, okay, fine, I was grabbing lunch. But it doesn't matter. I wasn't at my desk when eventually it broke out. So that kind of sucks, but 255 is still the key price level for me on Tesla right now.
All right, everybody. What else do you guys want to look at? I mean, we have ACB has earnings tomorrow. We could look at that.
Earnings?
I want to. Yeah, it's earnings. Yeah, I mean, they're reporting tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know. So we had a couple shorts here on AI. I don't know. I mean, you guys were watching it with Prad here. Short 44 down into 43.50, made some good money. Then we went short again. You can sort of see, and it broke. So then we went long and got some out at 45, and then got in, and then not got in and out, but took another long there at 43.70 and got out when it broke 50 to the downside. So right now, I'm just noticing right here, though, C3AI has just bounced nicely off VWAP again. So that's, you know, that's a possibility. Wow, Oracle's really. So I like this. I like this level here, 41.50. Hopefully, it can come back in and we can retest said long. All right, that's that. All right. So first of all, right now, let's just go
Oracle.
Another one.
Yeah, Oracle. No, I'm short
Another
Oracle.
one.
But you said
Another
long.
one.
Retest them.
Oh no, I want to AI.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
41.50 level on AI.
Gotcha.
But here we go. Might seem like we're smoking, but we're not. Right now, look at Disney. There it goes, man. So we took out 20% there for 10 cents. That's the risk, man. That's the 1-to-1. If you're trading if you're R to R, 1-to-1, risk to reward ratio, 3 R's, I guess, risk to reward ratio, was 1-to-1, then congratulations, there it is. You've already got it on Disney. But I'm thinking for a little bit lower, especially if this market continues to go a little lower than where we are. And there it is, bouncing right back up. So, okay. Anyways, I don't think there's too much downside to this name. What I'm trying to do is just capture it. Next bid is 80s. The next bid would be like 70s. And if we can end this trade at the days, like right around here, we'll be fine with that 93.50. And like, I'll take 50 cents. I mean, I don't even know where this name is going to go. So that's that. The name that Neil was just talking to me about, excuse me, I just chugged this iced coffee here.
Chug the iced coffee?
Well, not really, but just $1. The problem is out of a straw. Like, you know how you get the air bubbles
You
and
get
stuff
way
like that?
too much air. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So maybe I'll chuck that $1 at McDonald's.
That's a sweet deal.
I'm gonna go grab that.
That's a sweet deal.
Yeah, I get the half sugar, no cream, half milk. All right, so Oracle. We put the stop. I mean, we just talked about this when we came on the air. 117.70 for Oracle. Where are we short? We're short at 120. So right now, we had AMD join the $5 club. Looks like Oracle's trying its best to get to the $3 club right now because it's at 117 right now. So a little bit of a break downside. Now, Oracle, you're almost there, man. You're 14 cents away from the $3 club. And it looks like it does want to break through 117. So I am going to adjust this. Now that we're below the 21 period, 117.40. So that's going to be, I'm going to put that stop out right there. Go like this. Get our stops ready. 117. Oops. See that? This is where you screw up. See, 11,741. No, 117.41 right there. We'll make sure that we capture at least $2.40 on this trade. So 50 cents. So we will push enter and double checks it. It is now pending. So we'll wait to see if that can come through. Come on down, Disney. You are the next contestant on Let's Make More Money. right now. So there we go. We'll take an 84. We do have a lower bid on this one as well. There's another one right there that we gave to you guys, Disney, for the downside along with Amazon. Amazon just made a nice little move up. Didn't even notice that. Should have reshorted that against the 200 period. Nice move down back into the 21 period, in which we are going to get another piece out of Amazon right there. So that's good. Just comes back in. All right, Neil. What do you want to talk about before we throw over to Frank Caberna?
So just an update on Carvana. I did take that 40 long. I held it. It's 20 cents worth of risk. It did get up to 80. So I got a couple of legs out because it's looking weak. To get that 2-to-1 if it runs the high of the day we hold for the top end break. But I've been looking forward to it. I mean, this is a perfect timing, right? We're going to have Frank come on here. You had CPI today. You got PPI tomorrow. More importantly, you're going to have the Fed rate decision. So without further ado, let's go to the desk with one of our favorite guests, Mr. Frank Caberna with Brennan.
Hey guys, yeah, we teed it up a little bit back on Thursday last week, talking a little bit about what was to come this week. We'll get Frank's reaction here as to what we got this morning in the sense that we came off a long way on a month-over-month basis from the overall inflation standpoint. However, there are some areas of concern to discuss as we bring in Frank Caberna, Senior Content Strategist over at IG in Chicago. Great to see you once again, Frank. What a initial reaction, I guess, and then it's just been, as you were, a march to the upside all day long here for the most part, for stocks across the board. We'll get into a bunch of things here, but first of all, the overall print 4 versus 4.1, but there's still this 5.3 core thing that's sitting in the background there saying, hey, what about me? What about me? Certainly they're going to pause though, right?
So a really interesting number and one of the best trades that we've seen in recent memory in terms of you get the knee-jerk reaction in the stock market, and we'll get to the reactions in the other markets as well. You get the zag, and now everything kind of trading around unchanged aside from maybe Forex and interest rates. We'll get in that in a second. But this is a classic mixed bag, Brennan. You're spot on. We got the lower than expected inflation, and that's including energy and food. And what that makes me think is, well, yeah, of course, that number is going to be a little bit lower than it has been in recent history. Energy prices, crude oil is at its low for the last year plus worth of trading. Natural gas is at its low, and a lot of agriculture markets are also trading their lows. So I would expect that number to be lower. And I think that's what caused that knee-jerk reaction of boom, interest rates lower and stocks higher. But then you rope in the core inflation, which gets more to the core of it, as you might imagine, excluding energy and excluding some of those volatile food prices. In those two markets, like I say, you're almost seeing that inflation come out of the market when you're watching crude oil, natural gas, corn, soybeans, wheat trade lower like they have the last couple of months here. And so it's a mixed bag. That core inflation is sticky. It's at 5.3%. Remember, that was the number that was higher than expected last month. And so I'm really interested to see what the Fed ends up doing. I think we all are, because the markets in general did zigzag right after this event. You had, like I say, stocks skyrocket right off of the number. NASDAQ puts in new highs well above 15K. Interest rates sink right off of the number, and then all of them kind of come back to unchanged in the next little bit. But at the end of the day, Brendan, I think that since this number was such a mixed bag, the market kind of did away with it. The market, we're essentially back to where we started before this inflation number. Of course, everything has shifted around slightly, but I think all the shifts that we're seeing are more organic, excluding the inflation number. I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like we kind of threw the number away after that initial knee-jerk reaction and then the zigzag effect afterwards.
Yeah, it seems like, we were talking about this last Thursday. The market has gotten to a point where, as you said, there's the initial reaction, then everyone just kind of shrugs and, it's as you were. The volume and the follow-through of the volume just didn't seem to be there throughout the day. you know, we got that kind of choppy trade throughout the midday, and now we're back to the downside, as you mentioned a little bit. I want to talk about a couple of things. We mentioned going back to last Thursday as well. When it comes to what's going to happen tomorrow afternoon at this time, we were considering the fact that maybe it's the decision, the actual number when it comes out at 2 o'clock, that's going to be more of an event than the press conference that follows at 2:30. I feel like that's all of a sudden here, you know, in a matter of 12 hours or so, flipped on its head once again. Yeah. And now we might be waiting once again for the comments instead of the actual decision.
Yeah, I think you're spot on here. And it's funny, I don't think we've ever gotten to within 24 hours of an FOMC and the odds being more than, sorry, I guess less than 90% in one region there. And we thought last week, we jumped on Thursday and the relationship was like 75-25, no change versus a 25 basis point hike. And yeah, I think this number was the nail in the coffin, so to speak, of any change tomorrow. And yeah, to your point, Brendan, it doesn't seem like there's still the outside chance. It's maybe more than usual at around, it's been dancing between 5 and 10% all day as interest rates are obviously moving. And that's one thing that did stick around after the fact. Interest rates got crushed right off the number, and they've been, the 10-year especially is up huge here today. But little chance that they make any change tomorrow. It will be, to your point, that press conference afterwards that is likely to shift around interest rate markets, stock markets, and everything else. The odds are down from, they were 25%, now they're 5% chance of a 25 basis point hike. I don't think there's any real significant chance that they change interest rates tomorrow, but of course, like I say, the 5%, the 5 to 10% is there. And it does feel weirder than usual, Brendan, given that the Canadian central bankers and the Australian central bankers surprised last week. But what will be more interesting is the press conference and then those odds for the July meeting. That's what's funny is that the odds went essentially to nil for tomorrow's meeting, but they've actually, since I sent over the graphics for today's segment between you and me, the odds have actually increased of a hike in July.
Yeah, I mean, we can show what we have here, but the interesting part in that is how much will he lean on the core side of things, and how much will he lean on therefore the hawkish side of things, or how much will he say, see, we're doing a great job, everyone. It's back down to 4%, as I said all along. But yeah, here is that graphic. If you go out to July, you're going to get to a better part of 60%. As you said, when you took this snapshot here, it's higher than that now, that there is going to be a 0.25% hike at least before then.
And you absolutely nailed it there, that like the rhetoric from Powell tomorrow will be very, very important, not only for how interest rates will shift. If he is bothered by the core inflation part of it, then you would imagine that the odds do shift further in favor of a 25 basis point hike. And I have to imagine, you know that I'm the last person that would jump on here and do any kind of like fear mongering or like, oh my gosh, like the world is going to end and inflation is going to take us all down. But again, I do want to highlight the fact, and you highlighted it as well, the core inflation part is sticky. And the fact that inflation rose last year, and part of it was crude oil prices rising because of Russia, Ukraine, and wheat prices rising because of the Russian-Ukrainian war. Those prices have all normalized, and that core inflation is still higher than the Fed wants it. So it'll be really interesting because, yeah, in one side of his mouth, he could say, we've worked this inflation down to 4%. But I think the more realistic side is that this core inflation's sticky. It's still there. And the big elephant in the room here is this yield curve inversion. It feels like the core inflation being high still at 5.3%, and the odds that they will hike up to 5.25%, 5.5% interest rate in July, those all feel synergetic. Of course, we'll get the words from him tomorrow. But the market's still thinking that we are hiking just a cut because we still have this yield curve inversion. And yeah, I wanted to get your take on how you're feeling. I love jumping on here talking interest rates and talking foreign exchange and everything else with you. But given that inversion, we saw the stock market, if you're looking at the NASDAQ and the S&P, down around 20% last year. You look at the last two inversions that we saw in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then, of course, in 2007, 2008, both coinciding with a more substantial amount of bearishness in the stock market. Was that 20% lower that we saw last year, was that the kind of stock market correction or recession that you might find in line with a yield curve inversion like we have right now? Or does it feel like we are on the precipice of the Fed having to continue to hike interest rates, this inversion being here, and at some point, the stock market moving even lower? What's your general vibe on this whole relationship between lingering inversion, stock market off of its highs from a year or so ago, but not cut in half like it was in 2000 or in 2008?
Yeah, and is it enough? And I want to, guys, if we can, just go back to this chart because it's a great visual representation of the significance of what is happening in this area right now. When you go back to what happened in 2008, we were back to the upside as far as yields are concerned. So on this chart, the blue line, obviously, the yield curve, essentially, the 10-year versus the 2-year, and then the S&P in black here. We were back above the break-even line before the actual market move came in. And you can see the size representation here versus what has happened going back to the beginning of last year or middle of last year. The size of this inversion versus the size of this little teeny tiny, it seems like now, pullback in the overall stock market is way out of whack. I mean, your question is a great one in the sense that if we had the answers for these types of things, we'd all probably be elsewhere at this point. But it's really interesting. We're at that spot where we either continue and go higher and get right back to all-time highs, or maybe we see that secondary leg. As you said, though, the yield specifically, recent highs right now as some of these interest rates come back to the downside. So it's not improving at this point.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I put you on the spot for literally like $1 billion question. Like if Brendan has the answer to this question, we're both getting out of here. But yeah, it's what does make me feel like I never want to be the person who puts a tinfoil hat on and is like, yeah, the stock market's going lower, and that's why I'm 100% gold today. But the fact that the downside we saw last year didn't bring the inversion out of the interest rate market makes me feel that there is more volatility to come in the stock market. Again, like I don't think, as someone who studies data, it's been my whole life, the last decade, around these different markets. Yes, there's a correlation there. It's the smallest sample size you could possibly get at 2 samples. You could rope in the late 70s and 80s as well. That's 3 samples. But you and I have already talked about the fact that the inversion we saw in 1981, the stock market is down 20 to 30% in the 18-month period following that inversion. And then the 12-month period following that 30% lower, the stock market made new highs right after that. So I think this is to say more volatility is coming for the stock market, because I think the volatility is needed for the inversion to come out, for the Fed to essentially bring the short-term interest rates lower and to get that inversion out of the market. But I mean, I see that more as active trader opportunity than it is, opportunity to get really short the market or really long. I think that this is a harbinger of volatility in general, the direction. If anyone out there knows it, let Brendan and me know. We'll be on an island somewhere.
It is, as you said, the $1 billion question at this point. But it's almost like the market is going through each one of these checkpoints, whether it be CPI, whether it be the next Fed meeting or the next Fed meeting or the next Fed meeting, waiting for that trigger to happen. And it just, it doesn't seem to ever come at this point. So we'll see. Going forward, as we say, we like to trade what we see, not what we think is supposed to happen. So great stuff as always. Frank Carvana, Senior Content Strategist over at IG in Chicago. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Brendan.
direct call to say, I'm going all cash, or I'm going all gold, or I'm doing something like that. It's about volatility. I mean, that's what we want as day traders, and you know, especially in this business, you know, we're looking for opportunity to trade. I mean, there's reasons why I have 100 fills on AMD today, and why you're about to talk about NVIDIA or maybe Meta now, and some of these names that are moving around. I don't trade Oracle until its earnings, but here we go, AMD. Right, and by the way, thanks, Frank. I mean, that's that extra bonus. I mean, Brendan's really great at talking yields and all that kind of stuff as well. And obviously, as the market is moving, Neil and I don't really focus on, you know, fixed income or anything like that too much.
Hard to.
So it is nice to see that coming through. So thank you to Frank, and thanks to everybody too for the nice comments about Mr. Frank Caberna from IG.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's fantastic. And if they figure out those solutions, maybe we can all go on an island together if we can predict exactly what's going to happen on that higher time frame and what's going to happen with the Fed. That's all tomorrow. I do like one name.
AMD,
a lot just happened. We're rolling back over in the futures, like a lower high. And I just noticed Meta was underneath 271. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, but there's 71 hold. There's 71. There's 71. I'm going to get a short in here. I did get trailed out of C3AI. That broke back to the upside. It got all the way down to VWAP, touch VWAP. We got out of it. It's kind of barcoding off here, but we got out of that one. NVIDIA, I don't know what else to say other than wow, NVIDIA. I did have a very tight stop long up here on a 4-9 break. I couldn't get the break when it happened to the high of the day. It just gapped too far. But what an absurd move from that AMD bottom, quite frankly. NVIDIA all green to the upside. Now it's giving it up off 410. I just jumped into the Meta short, and just to give you an idea what happened in CVNA, I put this in the chat. It got to 24, it wicked 24, came back down, and I grabbed the 50 pennies there on this name. We're risking 20. I still think it can go high of the day, but I'll look for reentry either back off 23.20 or a higher low here on C3AI. But my new short is going to be Meta and RAM. I'll have a look at Fubo in a second.
So unfortunately, I mean, it's kind of a fail, but not really. We only got out of half of our Disney, and it just came right back up. So I was trying to post it as we had Frank on there, telling you guys I was long AMD because we are long AMD now at 125. So this AMD long, we just took it right there, and then within 1 minute, the very first trade we got was 41s, and then we got 80s. So we actually, was it 80s? Was it really that high? Yeah, 75, sorry. So yeah, there it is. So there's the long right there. Well, it's the same price I have right now. 06, first out there 38, next out there 75, and then now we're looking and dancing around here. I don't really want to take, honestly, I don't want to take 50 cents. I mean, I want a lot more on this trade, and I think we're getting greedy just because I feel like we have this 124 bottom, and I'm just trying to give it to like 124.50 in here. I don't want it to go obviously all the way down to the bottom, but now that I see this 126, we've bounced off there a couple times. Let's just put, I mean, we have enough shares that we can afford to do. See, like, look at that. Big move to the downside again right there. So I'm gonna cancel the one, well, we'll keep a 126.50. I mean, if that feels fine. But AMD really right now not doing much. 124.50 is my out. The most we were able to get is 50 cents on, well, we got 75 cents, but after that, the most it's ever gone up is 50 cents. So I feel like 50 cents worth of risk on AMD right now is probably worth it. So we will take another fill around 125. Try to take, again, another 80 cents on this on this next piece. And then watch out for 124.50 on the downside. And then the other name, oh, see, there it is. Like here it comes right back in. We'll just, you already know the strategy. So 124.50, not much happening until then. We do have an average bid down here at 124.70. So if I didn't mention that. Okay, so here's Disney, and this is what I meant to show you guys in the first place. Short off VWAP, first out 90, we talked about that 1-to-1, then we get an 82, and then we get a bunch of, and then as it just bounces right off that, comes back in, we get an 88 and an 87, like just kind of random there. Just noticing that these were the bottoms, and now it looks like, unfortunately, we have our stop here at 10s. So if it takes 10s, we're out. I do have another average to come still, 04. So right here, hopefully we get that fill. I don't know if we want it anymore, but it's right at, there it is, well, we got it. So it's right at the 200 period there, so we'll take that fill, see if this wants to work back down to the downside. Right now, Disney looking like it's a questionable short at this point. The futures are now above the 50 period, so that's questionable as well to go short into that. As you can see, it's a nice rebound off 44 flat.
Yeah,
So that's the problem, I feel like.
I mean, I'm sitting in the same kind of thing with Meta. It's challenging 71. It's underneath resistance, but we're kind of holding a higher low on both the ES and the NASDAQ at the same time, and which means the longs are pretty good. I promised I'd mention Fubo here. A breakout on the daily is happening now. Let's just say that because it's barely above that recent high. If you look at the gap high, it doesn't break back below the 50 period. It doesn't break back below previous consolidation, and now you're breaking these tops. The 200 period is up there, but I kind of think 250 as a psychological level is a better zone. If it can maintain this hold, like if it can hold above 215, I think the breakout tomorrow can look good. The volume's not that great here, and there's not a real catalyst here on Fubo that I think gets it through. If volume picks up, maybe a top end break. It's got room to run if it can sustain this move, but it's just making a little bit of a dip after giving you 15% here today and then kind of trying to get back into those highs. So I don't know if I'd be rushing into it, but a good look to be sure. Nikola is another name which is making some power moves. You know, I got that sly smile because Nikola's getting close to $1 again. I mean, this stock's been over $1 obviously, but that's a pretty big run today into the $1 mark. You know that tends to be a level of interest. Obviously on the daily chart, it was a big one. Got to 105 the last time it was of $1, so I don't think it's necessarily through till it cracks $1.05. So if it gets to $1, suffice to say, I will be on the offer. Well, I shouldn't be on. I won't stand in front of it, but if it gets to $1, it's massive. I'll probably short. If it breaks $1, I'll look for a fail break if it doesn't get past 105. But that's at 93. Still some time before it gets there, but good shout out. And 21% on Nikola, nothing to sneeze at. Good volume today, too, relatively speaking. Yeah, so we're just talking about the concern maybe with Meta. I just got another fill there. So now short 60s. We're giving it to 271, so it shouldn't be worse than 50 cents worth of risk. With slippage in there, we're counting for slippage on Meta. If it breaks back underneath 270.30, then we can start getting out toward low of the day. Decent bet if it's going to be a weak name. And I suppose, okay, well, if NVIDIA 409 was tricky to get, 410, I mean, why not? It's not at 420 yet, so I suppose every time it breaks a level, you'd be looking for it. 409.87 on NVIDIA is the top. It almost feels like you should be shorting this before the break, but I can tell you, at 09, the minimum slippage was about 30 pennies, just to give a little bit of perspective. If you're shorting this at 10s, I think if you short 90s, you should expect you could lose 40 to 50 cents, not 10 to 20 cents. You're going to have some slippage above 410 is my guess.
Slippage. Yeah, a couple nice tight stops there on AMD. I think on a day like today, you know, I'm using a little bigger here on AMD because it's moving around a little bit. Well, they both are moving a lot. So, yeah, different styles, like the Meta trade for sure. Yeah, I just took another piece out for AMD, so that's sort of what I want to get at. Hey, man, the money is money, so we take it out at 48. It just keeps on bouncing, man. Like, it just keeps on bouncing here. I mean, what am I going to do? Just sit here and, like, watch this keep on bouncing? So we canceled the 75 that we had, and we took a 48. So boo-hoo on that one. We're definitely capable of making back. Well, we didn't make back anything. It's a 40-cent winner. But if it breaks higher, I don't have any more offers. So hopefully we can just let this thing ride to the high side. Let it ride to the high side. Okay, good. All right, now we'll see about getting some bids down here on Disney, possibly. I didn't even, again, we just got short at 4. You saw that fill come through live. We were going to get a 97 or 98, and then let's looking here, that's the 21 period plus some resistance there. Look, I don't want to, we don't have to take, let's just take a piece out now on Disney. Hopefully it comes back in. Where am I even bidding? Now let's go a little lower. I'm going to bid 93s. That's 95. Let's put a bid at 95, whatever. If it comes through, fills us at 95, we'll take that. Then we'll take a 93, and then hopefully back into the mid-80s. I mean, if we can get mid-80s on this trade, it's 309 right now. The NASDAQ's not going down, neither is the ES. So, you know, maybe if we can just take advantage of this Disney trade before we get stopped out at 94.10 right now. But you could see now, you know, the 21 period is below. So we do have some target areas to come through right now. Hopefully we get a 95 print. There it is. Let's go one more print on this one, and we can get it. Hopefully we... Well, we didn't get it, but hopefully we'll get it. That is going to be Disney. Hopefully it has to blast through for us to get it because we're actually sitting on a paid gateway right here. May or may not be MEMX. Okay, there it is. MEMX. Big rebate for your boy right there. But we're just getting out. It's not really. We're just getting out of a little bit right there. And what I mean, there it is. Yes, sir. We get a 9 deuce. 9 deuces in the building now. So that's a little 10-cent win there. What we're talking about when we're talking about getting rebates and things like that, if you add liquidity, so you sit there and you bid 91s right now, so you put in a buy order for 90s or 91s and you get filled, most of the gateways will pay you about $2 per 1,000 shares. It goes sometimes 1.7, 1.8, 2.2, something like that, but that's generally the thing. And then if you want to buy 96s right now, so you want to put out an aggressive limit order to take away liquidity, we call it removing liquidity, so you're removing it from the market, that will generally cost between 3 to 4. So 1 to 2 to add, 3 to 4 to remove, and the exchanges and or gateways always win.
The best was back in the day when there was no one's going to know this, but Attain, there was a gateway that would pay you half a cent to take a passive fill on it, which was absolutely hilarious because people would essentially just lock the market all the time with that stock. So NVIDIA's at 410. It hasn't broken yet, but I feel like it's just a matter of time. If you were short this, I mean, it just printed 96 before it printed like 90s and pulled back into 409 change. So it's been a decent short. I want to keep going for the long here because the market feels like it made an AMD bottom, which, I mean, if you're following the pullback here, if you're wondering what that is, that's just the AMD bottom. There's decent size on the offer of NVIDIA here, though. Oh, man, there's enough shares that typically I'd be thinking short in front. I'm just going to go for the break. It feels like it's a high of the day here and could be a trap, but I'll have a pretty quick trigger finger to make sure we get out of it. Just still in the same trades, but we got to watch out for actually Carvana here. Carvana's pulling back in, so I do want to monitor this one a bit closely. I am long. I was able to get a bunch out, 70s and then evens, but if we can't hold 23.25, I think we got to get back out of Carvana. If it bounces here, great. I can go for a reload. And Henry Chung, thank you very much. Cheers to everyone at Day Trade the World. That's right. We are trading on a Day Trade the World trading floor. So it's a prop floor. Obviously, day trading, meaning we're going to be flat, have to take all our positions out by the end of the day, which means less than 50 minutes until then. There is a bet, by the way, which...
Is there?
It is. It's north or... Will AMD close, if you're in the chat, by the way, 125, if AMD closes above or below 125. I haven't actually made my bet because I've been busy here. Yeah, there goes Carvana. Doesn't really hold on to that quarter mark, so I kind of trail out of that one. It was a good trade off to consolidation, but not yet any follow through. We'll give it a chance to level off and give another go at it if it can show me it wants to level off. And as for that NVIDIA, see, it's when I don't short levels like, when you don't short a level like that, that's when it's good. When everyone's kind of afraid to be caught at the top, that's when that's going to be good. So I'm going to cancel. I cancel my breakout trade as it gets more than $1 away. Like, what a rollover that was on NVIDIA. You could have had 90s in there. I just felt I didn't want to be fighting that short. Like, look at that. That's frustrating because, like, usually that's a trade as a day trader you want to put on there. But, you know, the trend's been to the upside, so I can't be too mad at myself. It's just an obviously solid one there. What else is moving here? Obviously, I know that a corner of my eye, see Nikola, it's at 95, but 95 ain't a buck.
Oh, man.
What happened?
No, it's not a buck.
No, it's 95s.
It's 95s, yeah.
It'll get there.
Oh, Oracle. As if. Like, thank God this is for profit. You know, because, like, come on, Oracle. Come on. Like, it just takes 117.40. We had a quarter left of that. Oh, sorry, 20%. Was it a quarter or 20%? Let me see how many outs we had here on this. I think it was 25%. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it was only 20%. Okay. Oh, man, but there it is. It does break 117. I was just nervous. I mean, how many times have we bounced off? We bounced off 117. We bounced off 117. And down goes Oracle to the basement. So, okay, a little bit of a missed opportunity right there. That's too bad. I got to go out after. I was just talking with the treasurer there at High Park Little League. I have to go out. The catching equipment that my girls have is they're a U9 team, so under 9, and it's U11 boys catching equipment that's in my bag.
Obviously, that's not going to fit.
Obviously. They were trying it on. We have a tournament in Ancaster this weekend, and they were all trying it on because they all want to play catcher, and it's like it goes up to like Gia's. It doesn't go up that far, but it's too big.
Oh,
and,
yeah, of course.
So I got to go out tonight. So I was just asking him how much that costs. Between $300 and $400. We need the chest, the head, and the the shin pads. What are they? Shin?
Yeah,
it's for the knees.
They're shin guards. It's shin.
Leg
Yeah,
guards?
knee
I don't know
pads,
what
shin pads.
Knee pads, knee guards, I guess.
Do
Anyways.
they obviously they don't have like the super cool like flip helmets. I don't know.
No, they have the generic,
Yeah,
just
the
the generic.
Those are
Well,
cool.
what do you mean the super cool ones? No, they just have.
No, because there's in baseball, there's a shift. A lot of guys were using the hockey, like a more hockey style helmet, so you could rip it off really fast. They're not as safe, so I don't know if they let the kids use them.
No, that's the ones they have, man. That's the ones we're doing.
They're way better for. I don't know if you've ever caught. It's just a little bit easier to rip it off there.
No, we're talking about this stuff here, like this stuff.
Yeah, that's the cooler mask.
Yeah, those.
That's the cool.
Whoops. Yeah, these kind of things here.
See?
You
Yeah,
have to buy like a set. See, 3 bills. You see?
That's not bad actually.
So like this set right there is what
That's
we're
not
trying to
bad.
get.
Uh-oh, here comes Meta.
Anyways, all right. Damn you, Oracle. Hopefully Dizzy can go to the downside. Yeah, you got Meta shorts. So
Meta's about to break 7. It's above 71. It hasn't. I don't like even dollar stops, but creatively, I'm probably just 05. It is what it is. There it goes. So it broke above 05s. I tend to not like. I don't like even dollar stops. Like here, if you have an even dollar stop, you get wicked out. So you give it like 3 or 4 extra cents when you're in the middle of nowhere. If you're at the high of the day and it's a round number, or at the low of the day, a lot of times you just go with that hard stop. But in the middle of here, I'd rather give it a little bit more room. It has busted through, so we're out. NVIDIA continues to have been a good short. If you took it off of 410, that will be at least a little bit frustrating for me. I think we should have had that one, but it is what it is. And someone just said stop trading CVNA. I don't know, when it stops moving, maybe. I think it had a good run. If it broke the high of the day, that was well worth it to take a shot. Like, you get that. It's a $0.50. If it breaks the top, I think you can get to 25 even. It's up 9% today. See, I'm missing data from yesterday. Not that it matters, but yeah, it's weird. Like this happened on a couple of my charts, and we didn't
halted
even
yesterday. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was halted all day yesterday.
Absolutely.
No, but if it broke the top, there's room to go. Nice trend to the upside. Nice double bottom. If you go back the last couple of sessions, I think it was worth it to take a shot on that one. Meta, if it gets to VWAP, maybe. Oh, Tesla. Tesla's the other
AMD.
name. Tesla has a shot at 260 here. So I just
260.
Yes, that is not hyperbole. I didn't short 410 on NVIDIA, so what's going to happen? That's not a word.
Yes, it is, dude.
Is that
Yo,
really?
I need the word of the day code. I can just get it from you after.
Yeah, I'll look it
I
up.
had to push it on your thing.
He just,
Hyperbole?
what's wrong with?
I mean, now with Pratt on the midday show, I don't know if we get too many words of the day like that, but that was a good one there.
But Sherif's still there.
Sharif's still there.
The professor is always going to give it to you. I don't think that
Professor
was
is always
that
in the
crazy.
building. How did everybody like Pratt? I thought he did a great job. I mean, a lot of hype there. A lot of.
I think
a lot of hype.
we're bullish on Pratt.
Yeah.
Not this one. That bull.
That's bull.
That bull's got to go.
Whenever you crap out money like
bull's
that,
gotta go.
that's really what it's all.
I'm trying to figure-
This is the better bull. The graphic,
The old bull.
the old bull. The
I have
old
this, and it
school.
just says Weber, and I don't know what it is. I should
Barbecue.
just.
Push it.
What is that? Oh,
it's that guy.
It's not the barbecue. It's Pete Weber.
Yes, it's the who's
That's what it. Pete Weber, the bowler.
you the man I am?
Who do you think you are? I
am.
am. And you know what he does?
Right.
And then he drops. He gives the DX.
Oh, I
too.
know that highlight. That was like on Pardon the Interruption and all that
You
stuff.
know you're a gangster bowler when
Forever.
you're dropping DX on them. That's how you roll. So, anyways, 260 on Tesla. I didn't short 410. Of course, that means I'm going to go in front of 260 on Tesla.
Big time.
Whoa.
Big time super chat. And then you said Yannick Sweater, that's towards the sports gear. So thank you so much. But this is going toward Trader TV Live. I do appreciate
Yannick.
all that, Yannick. This does not go in any of our pockets. But I just want to say thank you so much for that as we'll push that back. Funding secured for Prad. So thank you so much. That's
Yes.
about a month worth there. So thank you so much, Yannick, for that. That is well appreciated. I want to say thank you so much for that. So we're going to go barbecue up. Thank you so much, Yannick, for that. I hope you've had some great trades happening on. It's $100, 100 euros. Was it euros
It's
or?
euros. That's
It's
euros.
euros. It's euros. It's euros.
It's euros.
Right there. And by the way, Prad, I asked how everybody liked you, and they are loving Prad. So
They
I
love
thought
it.
he came back with fire. So Thank you so much.
He came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, thank you so much to Prad and give some stability to that midday show. I think that was a great one there today. And really helping out Sharif, you know.
Yeah.
Sharif and Max, killer. Everyone's been a killer. Yannick, Obi, everybody on the midday show. So, but it is nice to have Prad back. So shout out to that. And thank you so much, Yannick. That does mean a lot to all of us here.
Yes.
At Trader TV Live.
Yannick in the chat, because we keep saying Yannick, and I know.
Isn't his name Yannick? Did I miss?
No, his name's Yannick's Sweater, which is a play on the fact that our Yannick.
Yeah, where is he?
He wears the Cosby sweater every now and then. I don't know if he's wearing
There's
it today.
Parsa. What's up, Parsa?
Where is Yannick today? Actually,
Just walked by. Parsa did.
Okay, so
I don't think Yannick is here today. He's buying new sweaters, I think.
maybe. You know what? Now that you mention that, I don't know if I saw him.
Yannick is in the building, Gregory?
He was.
Oh, he was
So
in the
Yannick's
building.
not here.
He
but
was
thank
in
you.
the building.
I love these names like Yannick's Sweater, Sean's Keyboard. Let's go with that. I just got some out of Neo. I still have some of that Neo trades back above 885, but if it's going to make a bounce to the local high, we'll just take it out. We're holding it from a lot earlier. Tesla doesn't seem to want 260, but the level is the top. So let's let it get there. I don't want to take this too early. I think you want to play off that actual high instead of trying to guess at it. NVIDIA is right back at 410. You know, I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what you're going to do, NVIDIA. Right? You're going to go to 410. You're going to have pulled back twice to 408. And then this time, if anybody takes the short, they're going to get absolutely railroaded. So, haha, NVIDIA. I am not going to pivot to taking the short here. That's me thinking I'm being slick about it. But, yeah, I'm not. You know, if you shorted it the first time, great. If you shorted it the second time, great. I don't know that I would like it a third time. If you profited twice off of it, then you got a little house money to work with. But as I say that, it's probably going to end up working. My stop's back in to trigger for that long on NVIDIA. Damn it, that short is just, it is consistent right now. But NVIDIA's got to be the one. Nikola just pulled back. One more, if it doesn't make another push, I might jump and short off that 95, 96. It's getting pretty juicy up there on NKLA. I just don't want to pull away from Tesla, NVIDIA here, because 410 is such a huge level. And if you zoom it out, just remember that NVIDIA on the daily, 420, a bit of a thing. I'm not saying it gets there, but, you know.
You're not saying, you're just saying?
I'm just saying.
You're just saying, yeah.
I think it was like 417 where it got really thin up there. But 420 is resistant. So lots of room to go on NVIDIA. 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes. The market's trying to get back to those highs. AMD, I'm not really tracking AMD anymore because I'm watching NVIDIA. I'm assuming that's still above 125. It has to be. That's the bet for today. We should probably close that because someone just bet 10. Stonk Hunter's like 10,000 above. So what is AMD at? Like
How the hell does he have that many points?
That's way too many. You can't have that many points.
Okay, so we have a new position alert right now. Okay, we are actually, wait a second, this time we are reloaded. We are loading the GAT right now up. So we just went short on Amazon again at 57.
Oh my God,
so
the short is
against VWAP, you know, we have 15,000 here. We've marked it down on our chart here, so we'll just hold that line. Oh, you said if I save my layout, it will show up again. So okay, so I'm gonna.
It's worked for me. That's all.
That makes sense. I'm gonna.
I'm in the new version.
Save. Oh, you're in the new version. I'm not. Okay, well, I'm going to save layout anyways and get in. I keep forgetting to download the new version, actually. You take a couple days off, and they're releasing a new version on you. Okay, so here it comes. Okay, there we go. We got a 50 there. That was a good one, so we'll ring the register on that here. We're just trying to, like, top up a little bit.
Okay, NVIDIA broke.
Higher or lower?
Yeah, it broke, but wow. So slippage,
410.
if you shorted it, 21s that was slipped to, and then it only went to 50s. That kind of sucks. So
that's okay.
Like that breakout is basically, for me, that's break even because I got to fill it to 50, and then at Wadunk said I had my stop tight underneath, so it's basically a break even trade because that was in and out like really fast. Like the first exit, hit offer enter, you're getting out in front of 50s, and then it just Wadunks right back in. So if you took profit, great. I always throw a tight stop on that. It looks like it wants to fail that high. This might now be a short off 410. Like you were rejecting 410, and you just. And then now you've just trapped. I don't know if you trapped longs. I mean, some of them have probably held on, but you wicked the top at that 410. So 410.55 is the local high. I think it might be a short from here. I don't want to jump the gun on Tesla, but NVIDIA, that was one heck of a rejection just now. Enough that I'll probably take my shot at it. I still like Nikola as well, but this one's moving right at the level here. Nikola's more the corner of the eye thing.
I like this more chilled out mode. I want to give a big shout out. First of all, Amazon, get into the gates of hell. Right? I just put this trade on, man. I just put this trade on. 20 cents. Right there, we just took some out as well, obviously, as it just falls back in. So that's a much better trade right there than I thought it would be on Amazon. Was not expecting this quickly right here on the break back down lower. So we'll see what Amazon can do. We talked about it being red. It just did exactly what we wanted it to, man. It came right into VWAP right there. First short at 54, next short at 58 or whatever it was, giving us 58. So that's our price. Hopefully this can come down. Where's my bid? 35. So we have a bid at 35. Then I don't want to put any more bids, but you know what? Sometimes when you put them, you get them. So 126.18.
Only when you put them.
Only when you put them is you get them. Very good. Thanks for correcting me on that one. Okay, AMD did make a move higher. I mean, Neil was just talking about. Oops, that's still Amazon. Sorry, hold on a second. There's AMD did make a move higher. We just did not get out again at 126. How many times are we going to stare this in the face? 126 and not do anything about it. So we probably deserve this quadunking down, and that looks like it wants to do. If you're wondering like why we keep saying words that really don't make any sense, like quadunk, it's from the professor, and he's supposed to be smarter than all of us, so he's made up that quadunk.
It's true.
And what we've classified it as, in order for something to have quadunked, it needs to be like the biggest red candle of the day, because so we had to sort of quantify it with something. So AMD, this is in the midst of a quadunk right there, and then we had a couple in there. So when we're talking about Amazon right now, it's not, although it's a nice move down, we need something like this, whoosh, like that, a flush. I like the quaboom on the upside, so that's the reversal of the quadunk, so the quaboom. So hopefully this one does not do that, and we can get a fill around that 42 for another fill, and then another fill. Don't steal that one, DJ Khaled. And hopefully we can get that to the downside. And by the way, Sofi, which you've just sort of been letting it chill out and get its bearings again, is right back at the high of the day. So we'll go bang, 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 bang on that one and fire off some hot dog cannons, because that is what's good right now with Sofi, back up to the high of the day. And that means that we're going to get something out, because it's 3:30 and pretty soon, it's 3:27:15.
It's close.
It's close enough, and at 3:30 we will get those imbalances from Brendo, and at that point he will let us know if it's a buy or sell. You know, the initial release, though, Neil, doesn't really matter that much. It
doesn't matter much.
Unless it's dramatic, but we're just getting it at 3:30. That's when the guy from Financial Juice is distributing it. It's already out. So it's 3:50 when the moves start to happen. Ooh, we just did get that Amazon fill. Okay, let's see what happens now. There is AMD, one last fill down there at the bottom.
So, AMD, so that's still holding 125.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, so I got into NVIDIA. I just got some on the south side of 409 there. We got 409.25 about was our average price. We got a couple of entries, but it just bounced off the 08 half. Took some out when it did that. I'm now into Nikola, by the way. Nikola running that high. For the third time, it's a triple top. This is why I liked it in front. Oh my goodness, how many times am I gonna have to enter? There we go. So 3 times we've actually gotten to 95 level. I decided to take an initial swing. I'll give it to 96. It's a 95 short with a 96 stop. And if we get to $1, we'll probably take another trade off the dollar level. So I am in Nikola, getting a bit of a tight top here. Lower highs on the futures as they give up that 15.1. Or fail that 15.1 level. So I'm kind of poised here. I'm holding Neo from the morning, but looking for not necessarily dump, just to move back into the downside. If you're looking at Tesla, I did say 260 was close. It didn't quite get there. Didn't even get to the high of the day on Tesla. So no short engaged on Tesla. Unfortunately, I think that could have been a good one. So NVIDIA, it made that false break at 410. It went to 410.50. I don't want to give this to 410.50. I feel like if it breaks 410, it's probably just going to get to the high of the day anyways. So I'm going to have my stop at that even number. I don't have any bids outside of the one we just took, so I'll wait for 07, maybe 05, because 05 is still that $1 trillion mark, which NVIDIA's poised to close right now above 1 trillion. This would be, I want to say, is it the first time it would close above? I think so.
Above 1 trillion?
Yeah, like it didn't
I would
close.
Think so.
Yeah,
I don't think we have a higher close.
Actually, that's right. No, this would be the first time NVIDIA closed above 1 trillion market cap. So if it holds on, that would be pretty big for NVIDIA.
I just want to say shout out.
Yes, no, you get it.
Yeah, I want to say shout out to anybody that is a Memphis Grizzly fan, because I don't know that much about this dude.
I don't know.
But the Raptors just grabbed Darko Rajkovic. So what's up to Darko Rajakovic? think that's probably right.
I think you got it right.
Right there from Serbia. Okay, maybe he can recruit somebody.
Let's go.
Let's go right now. But there it is, Raptors Nation, stand up or stand down. I don't know. Please, guys, join me there on a, we can go over to, ooh, what's going on here? This is a fight. Oh, yeah, tonight, guys. Game 5, I believe. Here we go. Tuesday's trades, if you guys are anything there. My favorite bakery, Messina Bakery right there. Love these guys. That's where here's my kid as well. This was a very, very fun day. What's up, Brian Shannon as well. Couple good quotes there. I'm all about this. So if you guys want, hey, what's up, Taco Fest, man? That's actually starting right now, June 16th. Taco Fest. Oh, here we go. If you guys are, this is Noodles, Jamie McLennan from Overdrive. And this is Rick Vive, former Maple Leaf captain. Used to have the record for most goals in the season by the Maple Leafs until some cat named Austin Matthews
he lived over 40 goals.
Came around. Yeah, good job there, Neil, remembering that one with Mr. Rick Vive.
Well, in fairness, my
was
brother.
That like NHL 90?
No, my
85?
brother used to collect hockey cards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. And you can remember it all.
I was like one of those kids where like some people collected cards. I love to read the backs, and this thing I used to do is I'd take these cards, I'd shuffle them up, and I'd put them into positions, and then I'd make like lines for hockey cards, like this guy's first line, second line, center, left wing, right wing, all that kind of stuff. And in baseball, I'd do the same thing. So I'd always look at the stats, and the guys that were good, you always knew the guys that were legit, especially if they were Maple Leafs. So let's see. That's probably the only reason I know that about Rick Vive. I don't pretend to be a huge hockey fan. I'm loving the fact that we got a head coach. I know we had talk about for the Raptors. I know we had talk about Reddick, which I would have liked it if we got Reddick. I think he's a smart guy, but quite frankly, I trust Masai there. So by the way, I'm short Nikola 95, 96 stop, 96.01 is actually my stop. I just got a reload in front of 410 on NVIDIA. If it cannot hold this, it probably just wants the high of the day. So we got the reload on NVIDIA. I'm bidding back underneath that 409. We'll try and rinse and repeat this one. If the market wants to roll over from here, I think that would be great because I have a couple of shorts on, but we have 560 to buy. That's not a huge number, as mentioned. Jay Boss just said, Oracle, please.
If Oracle is down below 160.
You're in it, aren't you? Oh, never mind.
I'm out of it $1 ago. I took a $3 winner.
I know. I forgot.
I was pretty happy about it. And yeah, down to 116, guys. Yeah, I don't apologize because I got out. It broke some levels there. Just didn't want it to retrace back higher. I mean, look, my net is just forever increasing right now. I mean, we have Amazon. We're not even talking about Disney. And Disney is definitely
another one.
So, I mean, it's fine. But yeah, Oracle, nice downside
another
move.
one.
I don't really have a target for this for anybody. If you guys want to talk about it, I mean, you're right back into here. That 116 looks like a pretty good bottom, man. We should have just waited for it. 114. This is just a big bump up from earnings, right? So, we were down here. I feel like you can retrace back. I think Oracle's a buy down here at 107, 108. But, big pullback there off earnings. I don't know really what they didn't like about the report because how could you, really like the stock enough to put this up 7% and then now for it to be red on the day?
It's up so much.
It's some sort of a analyst or something came in and just said, nah, that report was not great, and then just downside.
My
wow,
theory,
like how do we know that? Like that's just nuts.
I just think someone sees that big of a move in front of Fed
you're back into
and says, let's take some profit. There's profit taking. Like
What is
somebody
that, though?
program. There was somebody that was just probably selling
what?
all day long, like a big position on that one. But speaking of selling,
This could be a long Oracle.
that's good. So we just broke 408 on Oracle. NVIDIA there, so that just flushed off that 410. Now remember, the only reason that I like the 410 short on false break, easier to see a false break if you are in the false break to the long side. Got a scalp out and then got out, then got into the short. We refreshed the short position. We had this and we had Nikola, and I probably need to just get out of, we're back underneath. You know what? I should have moved my trailing stop on. I'm just going to punch out a Neo because when that broke back underneath 885, I took some out 90s. I should have just gotten out automatically when it broke below 885. So I'm now out of that one. Don't have to deal with that anymore. And Neo was good this morning, boring this afternoon. I want to hold on to NVIDIA as long as it's underneath that 410 level. Looks like the shorts are going to be in for the rest of the. Well, we'll see. At least until 350, despite that small buy imbalance. We keep rejecting lower highs on the NASDAQ. And a lot of the big names can't seem to break out through the top.
we said we'd be really happy if we could get Disney in the 80s, and now it's in the 70s. So Disney's been a good trade. Not only that, we did get the reload on Disney, obviously up here at 94.05. So that was a good reload. Now, you know, let's just let this thing bleed. I mean, obviously, I already feel bad about Oracle, but that's good. Oh, we did get a Sofi fill. I mean, we told you we were going to get it. I mean, all you have to do is offer something. I mean, it's just now it's going down. We have 10% left, so we are pretty much out of Sofi. Sofi was a great trade today. You just had to be patient with it. Obviously, we made it up there. There's out. Then this is a legit hit right here because we did have a size there. It did break below that bottom, which was 910 at that time, and we got out. So that's like a 915 out, 908 or so. So that's kind of a sucky hit. And then right back into it and right out. And I know the high of the day's up here, and I said, like, this is the high of the day, we'll just get out. But I'm not considering, like, the 931 print as high of the day. I mean, it is, technically, but, you know, I mean, it's just in SoFi. I mean, everything, you know, when you get a market that goes like this and you can get back out right here where we did, that's pretty much the high of the day. So you know,
I like Sharif's term.
What was it?
He says, like, local high. So if you get, like, a wick at the open, and that stands out the rest of the day as a high, then back in, you know, in the afternoon, like you have these, you go to, you just chart up there. Right so you have that like 55, like that's the local high. It's not the high of the day, but I think it's the one that might matter
pretty much
right now.
Right, so that's, so we always talk about that here on the show. So good trade there on SoFi, and then we just took an out there, or no, we did on Disney at 50, or sorry, I wish Disney could maybe go to 50, on Amazon here at 50. But it is retracing. Oh, you know, you saw me get really excited there about AMD because it came down in right there, filled us at 75. Then I instantly got these out, 125, 125, like instantly, and then it broke down and we gave that quarter back. So take more than a quarter. I mean, some of these were a little bit, but anyways, pretty flat trade there on AMD that last little bit. We should still obviously be in the short of this as well, it seems like. But lots of opportunities to reload it. So 126, our big short was 130. That was $4. We talked about that. Sorry, $3. No, $4. And could have been more. So I think AMD still wants to break lower. Are you still short NVIDIA? Yeah, so that's...
Still NVIDIA, just Nikola.
What is NVIDIA at?
Oh, I wanted to get to... there was a question. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I just want to see the price.
Yeah, there was a question about Tesla. What are the next levels? Only because it's fun to bring up. Now that Tesla has cleared 250, this is my trade ideas layout, but this up here on the weekly, that's $300. And what you will notice is there is not a heck of a lot in between the 250 that we're breaking out from here and the 300. You can argue about the bottom of this channel, previous support at 266 for being a level. I guess you could say that. So like that previous low here that got broken, 266, you're filling that gap. But that up to 300 and plus is the next level on Tesla. And you are absolutely right. We haven't said much about the Denver Nuggets because no one cares about the Denver Nuggets. But yeah, it was Nuggets in 5. And I'm just happy to see, like, I've loved the Nuggets for 3 years. It's the first time that they were healthy and the first time I thought they were actually going to win because the entire team couldn't stay together. And shout out to Jamal Murray, fantastic talent. Obviously, Joker's the best, but Jamal Murray, a little Canadian content for you there. So,
yep. Kentucky, right?
That's how we roll. Yeah, Kentucky. You know what? I just feel like they've got such a good core that to the extent they can keep it together, they should have a couple of years run on them. I do feel like there's not much.
It's amazing that Djokovic has stayed healthy because he's a big body. So that would be the next.
He's in much better shape.
No, he's in a great shape. I'm just saying that's the risk I feel like when your team kind of relies on a big man.
Well, Porter's health is always a risk.
Oh, well, yeah, he was a health. I mean, he would have been drafted higher if he was healthy out of the university, right?
If you ever saw clips of what Michael Porter Jr. could do in high school, like they called him the next KD for a reason. Like he was legit. So
wait a minute, that's Bruno Caboclo.
Don't you remember the Brazilian? That was not a good pick for the Raptors.
Shout out to the Raptors.
That was a bad pick for the Raptors. And notes worse, it's not Bruno's fault where he was picked. I always say that
he wasn't picked that high. He was in the 20s.
He was in the 20s. Oh, there goes
Nvidia.
Nvidia.
Might have been a second-round pick.
So Nvidia bounced off 08. It just came back and broke 10s. I didn't want to give it to the high of the day because the way this stock is going, if it breaks 410, is it really not going to go to the high? I think you're just throwing away an extra 40 cents. So that leaves Nikola for me. Wow, I suppose he could have just gone long with that theory. But Nikola just got back up. It's NASDAQ. And to remind myself, just bounced off of 93. I could have taken some out at 93 there because I'm risking a penny. Probably should. If it gets down to 93, I'll get at least on the bid. Let's respect that. Get on the bid in front of 93 and then just see what happens. It is so close to the end of the day.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's 340. Like, what am I thinking here? Like, that's silly. It's way too late in the day not to take something out at 93. I'm looking for the push, 92, 91, 90, when really it's going past 1-to-1. You got to take that out. 20 minutes to go till the end of the day. It's been a fun day, to be sure. I think the midday was absolutely fantastic with Prad back on. And someone had said, when are we starting the after 4 o'clock?
Yeah,
that's Monday.
Next week.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Prad's right now back on the midday show, but starting next week, he will also be doing a show. We'll kick it right from this to Prad at 4 o'clock. I think it's going to be great. So you get us an hour early before the market opens, then you get us post-market. Trader TV Live, doing big things, as they say.
Always big things. Big things of Guan, that's for sure.
Great song.
All right, so we got out. Did I get out some more Disney just now? Yes, so we did get some Disney. Yeah, we talked about that at 80. Let's let this fall down just a little bit more. Amazon has kind of gone back into flat, but we have our out rate there. So, you know, kind of like, I'm not really even that worried about it. If it breaks through 65, which is right here, which is VWAP, we're going to get out of that. I'm not going to average into this trade. We're above the 50 period right now. We're getting close to that 15,100, which you've already marked down a little bit right there. So we don't want that trade. So we'll wait to see if it does come in. Did I just get filled on something there? Oh, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon just pulled back into 55. I'm getting a little nervous about it, so we're taking some outs right now. Let's see. No more outs until we break. We're holding this. We're ride or die on Amazon. Let's see what happens on that one. It's my number one stock today, so we'll be good. All right, AMD, I am taking a break of 124. So it's been, if I take away some of these fills here, you could see I have over 400 fills today, so I'm pretty exhausted. But you could see right now, Amazon straight to the downside, AMD straight to the downside right now. This is 124. We've held it pretty decently, but we have broken with wicks lower, so let's just see if that does happen. If and when we get the short on this name, I think I'm just going to give it 50 cents. It's kind of random, but that's 124.50 right where my line is right now. So here we go. So we are going to break this. We are going to get short into AMD, into the close. Obviously, people pretty upset. Not upset, but it doesn't seem like they got what they wanted to from Lisa Su and so on and so forth today with AMD. But there's a bounce off 124. I'm not hating on anybody that's going long. I'm trying to play the trend here. And it is down.
I mean,
so yeah, like, I've made some mistakes before, but I'm pretty sure this is accurate. So there we go. Now we are now short AMD. Bloom as they go. Ring the cash register. Bloom as they go. Right there. So there goes AMD. Downside, already taking 20-cent profit right there on AMD. And of course, you can't see my fills because I took them off, but there it is right there. We'll put it back on. We are now short Advanced Micro Devices, 123.97, and we just took some fills in the 70s. So I'm down.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if we closed the bet on that one, but
I forgot to bet. It was over 125.
You know what? I didn't either. But if you can still bet, that's pretty fortunate for anybody because it's absolutely tanking. But that's in the face of Nvidia breaking the highs. I'm starting to get out here. You can't talk about risk to reward and then ignore it this late in the day. When you get 1.5 or 2 to 1, you take it. So we're going to continue to do that. We are working off of this nickel at $1, but it's 95 that happens to be moving right now. So if that wants to hold on, great. Great for anybody that's long. I still think it could be above 90 cents and make a run at it tomorrow. Steve G, I'm going to get to MVIS in a second, but NVIDIA broke 10. I said stop out at evens, don't hold it all the way. It goes all the way to 411. So to me, you were just giving an extra 50 cents if you held it to the high of the day. I think once it's dropped $2, there's no need to just give up that extra 50 pennies on the reload. But 411 just held on a dime. I don't want to jump back at shorting this with only 5 minutes to go till the imbalances. I think it makes sense to stay away. Nikola might be the last one for me. I was trading Carvana, and I had mentioned I'd like to reload if it could hold. Obviously, a little distracted trading NVIDIA there. It did technically hold out that 23 level, and there was a bounce play to be had on Carvana, but it's too late to chase that trade now. I think you just ride with what you have going on. And speaking of that, Nikola just gave up to 93s, and as usual, when you get to a triple top like this, a lot of times you don't have to have a big pullback, but 95 to 96, you're just able to get some 92s. This is probably going to break $1 tomorrow. if it can close above 90. But until that happens, I think there's a short there. And then 105 tomorrow looks interesting. Hey, don't look now, but Nikola's 5 days in a row green above the 50 period and could break $1. I don't know if the short interest is all that big, but this could be interesting if it breaks 105. You take a 105 long, you slap a 99 stop on it, and then you see what can happen. But that's tomorrow's play. Today, right now, it's a short.
And that AMD was crazy. It just went down. It went into the 30s, and I put a bid at 33, and the low of the day, well, it's not going to be right, but it just bounced off 35 or something like that. So that sucks, man, because it was 70 cents in the money. Good thing we got them out in the 50s, but here we go. AMD really feeling itself right now, all the way back up. Let's take something in the 60s again, just in case it doesn't want to pull back here and wants to go back up to the upside. The best we got was 50 cents, so we will take this out at 124.50, which is going to probably be where the teal is right now. Yeah, there it is. Look at this. Wow, pretty aggressive, right back up. Okay, we'll short it then. We'll put on a little bit more. Oh no, what happened there? That did not. Did we just go pending? Okay, hold on a second. No, we did not. No, we didn't. That's fine. I actually put a bid instead of an offer, but we didn't get filled, so it's okay. There we go. So nice little offer now to reload that short a little bit. I'm going to put in the stop right now in front of everybody. So it's going to be 124, like 53. You know, there's been people that have said, like, oh, I don't want to share where my stops are, but it's not going to matter. There's so much volume on all this that whatever. Hopefully, we can just all, take some profits on that one.
Nobody's trading anything that illiquid.
No.
Like, I will get, like, if you're trading one of those, I don't know the word for it, like less than 1 million share float, you probably don't want to be like, this is where my stop is on a stock that has 400,000 of a float. That would be ridiculous because it's so easy to run a stop. It costs you nothing, and there's no liquidity. But on these names, like, who cares? I got one name. It's at 91, 95 to 91 for Nikola. I was just looking. I don't know what's up with Apple, but I put Nikola dollar on my iPad to remember it tomorrow, and it just continuously autocorrects it to NOLA. Like, why? Like, why would you autocorrect something to NOLA? That's not a word. You don't autocorrect from, like, I understand,
like New Orleans.
But I know NKLA is not a word, but you don't autocorrect to something that's not a word.
But NOLA is maybe a symbol. Is that what it was doing?
No, no.
Oh, on your iPad.
On my iPad.
Ah, I thought you meant that autofill.
I'm not an Apple I don't use Apple products. I'm an Apple person when it comes to the stock, just not the product. I don't know why you would do that. NOLA's a name. I know it's New Orleans. I understand it's New Orleans, but I don't know. It just feels a little bit weird to me. I thought Tesla would be something. I just canceled a couple of seconds ago. I canceled my stop at 260. I was going to short that level. With only 2 minutes to go till the imbalances come out, if it gets there, that's fine. It gets there without me doing anything. We're going to have the imbalances. I'm just going to make sure I have them up just in case. Charlotte's in a few positions right now, so I'll be sure that I have this locked and loaded. And the auction, the early look on the auction is $560 million to buy. I have seen no change from Brendo. I doubt I put another position on. Steve G, you keep asking about MVIS. So I assume Microvision is making some moves. Is it making moves today? Nice little grind higher, 5% to the upside. Oh, it's bouncing off 6 today. There you go. I got you. Big runner. I don't know how many days in a row that was to the upside, but suffice to say it was a lot. Ooh, I like this setup. You gave up a parabolic mover. You just made a false break of 6 even to the downside after that big pullback, and you're running again. So if it's above 6, room to run. It probably runs into trouble. $7.50, definitely at $8. But yeah, tomorrow off $6. MVIS looks pretty solid. Sometimes these names that have gone too far or so far, $2 all the way to $8, you're looking for that first sign of a bottom when it gives it up. So it gave it up from 8 a couple of days in a row. That's a sign of a bottom right there. Wick under 6, higher highs, higher lows all day long, and trending to the upside. So good luck there. I think there's no trade now with 10 minutes to go, unfortunately for us. But good luck there. Worth a watch tomorrow. I'm going to get the last of this out probably if it gets underneath 90. Trailing stop now at probably like 91.5 or something on Nikola. I don't think it sees VWAP. And then we'll watch that one tomorrow to see what happens. It could break $1. It might not. I think it's a short at least one time at that dollar level.
Yeah, we are only now 20. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. I don't think the imbalances will affect Nikola too much, but they may affect AMD. So let's watch AMD here as we are now short. We just re-shorted it at O's or so. You guys saw me do that. With only 8 seconds left, if you're anywhere in the world, it's 349, 55, 56, 57, and at 50, these will all update. And I do have some bids down here for AMD in case it is the lower bid on this. It just had a little bit of tape teleportation, but not really there. So we don't have it updated yet. It will update with the NASDAQ in just a matter of seconds. And there it is right there. Cisco grab a plug. A lot of people were talking about plug earlier. Apple with a buy, of course. I say of course, but Intel with a sell. Cisco.
That's a big one. I mean,
that's a big one.
That was big the other day too, though, and it didn't do anything.
Palantir not doing anything.
Yeah, like Cisco's a $3 million to sell.
Yeah, I don't really.
It actually went up.
Ain't much going on there.
Yeah, like Cisco bounced. I mean, it's not a lot, but it bounced 7 cents into a $3 million sell bounce. I feel this happened the other day. It was a couple of million to sell. It went up a little bit, then it paired off. So the market thinks it's going to pair off. I see nothing that interesting. Obviously, not Palantir. Obviously, nickel is not going to be there for me. The market does seem to want to get higher, though. So if you look at what the NASDAQ is doing, let me slide back over to the futures. It is just riding the wave to the upside. I guess I'm going to call it the AMD bottom because I don't have a better name for what happened on that flush to the downside other than saying when AMD bottomed out on their event, you have been coming right back into the upside. On a 60-minute chart, the very next candle is green, and we are holding higher lows. So good day for the market. Remember, we started out with CPI. And that was, I'd say, almost like a nothing burger. You were going upside and then kind of gave it up. But the trend has been pretty solid since we recovered 15,000. That's going to be your big level, definitely going into tomorrow. And the Fed decision in tomorrow. That's going to be a good one. Racer X9, like that DWAC. Oh, it's not moving. There's no chance it's moving. I'm just going to double check. Not really.
Oh, no, because Trump is arrested now.
Yeah, but it's the stock doesn't really, it just doesn't go. I know he's turned himself in, but it's just
indicted in Miami.
40-cent range on the day.
Not a bad place to get indicted.
I can't say I know.
I don't know.
Not a bad place. Not a
fly to Miami.
South Beach.
I don't know.
South Beach is fantastic, by the way.
Apparently he's on Rumble tonight, so we can check out. Wait a minute, tonight? I guess he's not gonna. I guess he's just getting arraigned.
That might be a more interesting stock when there's headlines, but let's see.
Yeah, it's not. No, I already looked at it today.
No. Okay.
Well, it's down 7%, which is.
That's moving more than DWAC. No, the point. I know every single time there are headlines, everyone looks to DWAC to see if it's going to go again. I get it. DWAC was one of the most exciting day trading stocks for a bit. It just doesn't seem to want to move anymore. Something has to happen there. They're not even. We don't even know if that SPAC deal is going to close at this point.
Right.
So there's no there for better. For a better term, for lack of a better term. I would love for it to happen. Everybody knows as a trader, like we all know what was up when that stock was moving. It was fantastic. It's just you can't will it into existence. Regardless of what your politics are, when you're here to trade, you want stocks to move. It's not moving. Nikola just broke 90s, just got to 89. I just took some out there. Probably VWAP is where this stops. I'm going to assume this is probably where it stops at VWAP. So it's going to park a bid down there. Trailing stop is now going to move to 90 cents even. Maybe it makes a move. I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm going to look for it at that dollar level because it's been on one. We joke sometimes about some of these beaten up names, but you don't always want to. Like 50 cents clean to a dollar resistance level. You're going to close above the 50 period. It is trending to the upside locally. And a dollar break on a penny stock is always worth a look. I think 10 times out of 10. It's on 120 million shares. If it breaks a dollar, it could easily double that. No question on Nikola. Even without a catalyst, I think that'd be possible.
So we got some flats here on AMD. Plus we got something in the 80s. So we got 80 there. So yeah, let's just wait to see what happens here with this trade and moving forward with AMD. I mean, I feel like it's just going to stop out. If it takes 124.50, we're out. It's not a huge position, but by any stretch of the imagination. So, we'll see. We don't want to be in something as the imbalances come out. It just makes it like way too random. You have no idea sort of what the stock's going to do. It doesn't seem like it's really affecting it today, that the market's not doing anything on these imbalances. But as you guys have seen many times, stocks can make dramatic moves off of said imbalances. So make sure that you get out and you don't have to worry too much about it. But that is what that was right there. A nice imbalanced move. Sofi not doing anything. Disney, we got a good cover. This was a good one, man. So, got good trade on Disney for sure. I mean, this is the one that we put on for you guys there today. 94s, 9405s, all out, all in the basement, and we did pretty good here, making sure that we're covering some in the 80s, like a bunch of outs here. That was good. I mean, these are all fine. This is bad, like up here 96 or whatever that was, and then some of these 92s, 93s, but now we're in the basement of these 80s, and that's a good trade. So we're pretty happy with that one. So
it's 355.
Yes.
That means some of the imbalances will have paired off and flipped. One of note, Palantir, I want to say got bigger. Palantir is the 3.2 million to buy. So I'll show you that one live. I don't think it was not the biggest imbalance 2 minutes ago. So we'll just have it's not to say that it has to go up, right? But that's a decent sized buy imbalance that's starting to make it move a little bit. That's not really moving. I'm never convinced. You almost want to see it go. Like, why is nobody buying it? The market's gliding higher, but Palantir, big buy imbalance of 3.2. If that sticks around late into the, in the last 2 minutes, that could get pretty spicy for PLTR. It's done 100 million shares, but 3.2 is still a decent chunk. If you haven't taken a second,
do it now.
Like and subscribe today.
How many do we have?
645, which is well shy of 1 million. On a day where Pratty Daddy came back with absolute fire.
The cat came back.
He was powered. He was powered up. He had the energy. It was all over. C3AI was a crazy mover. It's been a great day for the market, which is, by the way, has a chance to close at 1% to the upside. The bulls never went anywhere. I know AMD quadunked a little bit, but that was a sell the news event. We're all talking about that when it could happen. It happened to Apple. It happened to CRM. So it's been a fun day to trade. Tomorrow's going to be even better. It's Fed day. Let's get to 1,000 likes so the lady behind us can actually smile a little bit here. She's hard at work. She's probably not even paying attention to me. Oh, she heard. She heard, and she's disappointed in all of you. As she,
well, we're gonna.
You're supposed to be disappointed, and then she flashes the smile at all of you guys.
There we go.
What? Huh? What is that?
One of those. Oh.
Anything?
It's a Pokemon.
This is a Pokemon?
No, not really. No.
I don't know what this is.
I mean, you can catch them if you can, Neil.
It's cute, but there you go. It's cute. I just have no idea what that is. My daughter likes the. Oh shoot! Now I forget the. The big squeezable. What do you call it? Squishmallow?
How many does she have?
This is the big one.
My daughter has like 3 or 4 big ones and like 10 small ones or something. Like, what is happening in my family?
Under half a dozen.
Oh my god.
For sure, under half a dozen. But she only has 2 big ones, and then I think 3 small ones. I don't even know, man. She has way too many.
Yeah.
She has way too many stuffies. That's the first thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's because you never get rid of them. You only add them. Like there's no, you don't get, like they just keep on adding and adding and adding, and it's like you have too many in your room, and then some of them go in the play area, and it's like, what the hell?
More adding, yeah.
I'm out of Nikola, trailing stop to 90. That's my last position of the day, the 95 short. This is the thing about it, like I understand you can look at something like an NVIDIA, which is trend up, and 410 to 480, like it's a good trade. There's no question about it. That's a good trade. But it's just a little bit lower hanging fruit sometimes when you look at something like this, which is run 75 to try to get to $1, makes a triple top. Do you think people want to buy the high at the end of the day on NVIDIA, which has been churning, or on Nikola? One's a squeeze play or a shot play. The other one is going to be a fantastic company for the next few decades to come. I'm not saying Nikola can't be. I just know which one I would bet on for that one, and it wouldn't be Nikola.
Shout out to Quadunk Nation.
Quadunk.
I think you gotta.
That's what Shreve says. He says
roll it.
It's like a hua.
You gotta roll it.
That's a good. You know what, Jennifer Schultz? That is great. Donate to Children's Hospital. And you know what? That is something I should do, because when we get our renewal, it's not a renewal, but like when Sick Kids sends a thing, don't forget to donate again this year. My daughter sees it, and she's like, what is this? And I explained what it was to her. She's like, ooh, I want to write a letter.
Yes.
Because you can write letters to the kids that are helped out from Sick Kids Hospital here, like if you donate to it. So she wants to write a letter. Now I'm going to say, not only can you write a letter, but we can send some stuffed animals as well. Sick Kids, fantastic hospital.
The best.
Here. It is the best kids hospital in the world. Famous for it, and they do great work. I mean, giving is like one of the best things you could do out there, and that's a great charity. Not that I'm trying to plug the charity, but I am. So there it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's kids. Yeah, Sick Kids Hospital. I mean, it's literally in the title. So, all right, a shout out. What a good day it's been so far. Thank you for all the likes, the subscribes, and everything like that right now. Cat, it'll be Sharif on the bell today. So
What?
here he comes through.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we only have 900 likes. So you guys, epic,
Oh, that's right.
Epic fail.
Fail.
Epic fail by everybody right now. All right, let's go here. We only have 10 seconds left. Neil's already pushed it. There he is. It is Sharif. He's ready to rock and roll there. Yeah, you're getting ready. He can see the countdown. Only 5 seconds left in this day, in what's been a very aggressive day. It is Sharif, and he rings the bell. Thank you so much for that one.
And of course, we get to the 1,000 after Sharif rings the bell.
Yeah, people like Sharif too. So,
Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do.
Yes, thank you, John
There you
Riz. Exactly. You know, the shorts were really good today.
AMD obviously under 125. So
Yeah.
if you bet the under, cha-ching. If you bet the over, well, it's at near all-time highs.
People like
There you go.
Sharif on the bell as well. So I think we delivered. We delivered. Okay, someone who's never on the bell because he's always over there getting ready
true.
to close it out. Let's go over to Brendo at the big desk and find out exactly how we did finish up in these aggressive markets.
Hey guys, nice bounce. Yeah, after we spoke to Frank, if you remember, we came all the way back to almost break even, but nice move back into the highs as we close out the day here. 0.73 for the NASDAQ. Leading the way there, 0.36 for the Dow, 0.62 for the S&P 500. Nice move for crude as well, 3.1. I did read that the U.S. government going to add more to their strategic reserves coming up before the end of this month. Bitcoin, Ethereum, dead flat. Pretty quiet day for crypto, guys.
Oh,
You know what,
What?
I was just thinking?
oh, we're going back to, there we go. What are we going?
I was messaging my cousin
Okay.
about that Grizzlies hire there. The thing is, man.
I don't know anything about
Neither
this.
do I, but Dylan Brooks is like not allowed back in Memphis anymore. He's from Toronto, Mississauga. It brings some attitude to the Raptors. Maybe that coach can. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I like it from the attitude aspect, but
Microsoft.
But if you think about what the Raptors do, like they have a lot of kind of like small forward types that switch all the positions. They can guard They can guard 2, 3, and 4. So he fits that. He fits that to be sure. He's obviously a local kid.
I just thought of it because I actually didn't
could see
realize
that.
when I read the first update. I thought he was a coach from like a Serbian team, but then I
No, but
didn't
he's-
realize his resume was
Yeah.
Memphis. So I was thinking about that.
Which that's a good squad. I could see that. Look, I could see it.
There it is.
And
Officially
go ahead.
topped 1 trillion, by the way. I know that was a number that you
first
were
close over 1 trillion for
Yep.
Nvidia.
Yep.
Sorry, I was still on Nicola. But look at Nvidia closing above 410, 420 incoming, 420 incoming. Let's go.
I just want to give everyone an update here. So Microsoft CFO Amy Hood just told investors, just told everybody, that they're expecting the new AI-powered services from OpenAI will contribute at least $10 billion to the company's revenue. Okay? Their revenue in 2022 was $200 billion.
They make a little bit of money over there.
No, but this is the part of the AI hype.
It will get
10 billion?
bigger, though. You know.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, 5%. I guess 5% is fine.
That's nothing to sniff at.
No, that's nothing to sniff at.
That's not anything to sniff at there. The Bulls are winning. Anyways, there we go.
Anyways, okay. All right, guys. Bulls. What Bulls? Oh, the Bulls in the market. Yes.
Not the Chicago Bulls.
I was like, what happened to Chicago Bulls? Shout out to DeMar DeRozan and your damn daughter yelling at us. All right. Oh, thank you, Yannick, for the $100 bucks, man.
Yes,
that was a lot.
yes,
That meant a
thank
lot
you,
to
Yannick.
us. Thank you so much for that. A great super chat. All right, Brendo, it's 4:03. You got places to go that aren't here.
Go get a chest protector, Sean.
So yeah. Well, now my wife went to Mississauga. There's none there, so now she's got to go to Oakville. So I don't know if we're going to do that. We have hockey tonight as well, so that's lots on the docket. All right, thank you everybody for watching. It was Return of Prad. Thanks, Prad. That was a big show. Thank you to Max as well. Thank you to Sharif, Bears vs. Bulls, everybody. Obviously, Brendan, Neil. Thanks to Fabian, Alfredo, Mark, Rob, Randy, Kat behind us right there. And most importantly, thanks to everybody for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We didn't do earnings, so I guess there isn't much, right, Brendo?
ACB.
Ooh, cannabis. I was about to hit the thing, but why do that? All right, it's cannabis on the mind.
You can hit it.
If it's on the mind, hopefully it's on your mind tonight, not tomorrow, because we've got trading to do. So we'll talk to everybody in the AM. For Neil, Brendan, I'm Sean, and there goes Brad. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
And I bus.